Ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about a very important topic, and that's a topic of weed whacking. Go to Manscaped, get 20% off plus uh, free shipping with the code FAB. And usually, when we talk about plucking those nose hairs and doing trimming around the ears and whatnot, most of us are used to doing that with weapons such as this. While effective, they can be cumbersome. They can prove to be cumbersome. And everyone's personal favorite is also this beauty, something like this. Whilst very effective, it's also hard because sometimes you don't have the right extension cords and whatnot. So Manscaped has given us this, the Weed Whacker. The Weed Whacker is skin safe. It has a replaceable head. It has high performance motor, so premium 9,000 RPM motor powers. This is something that you would have probably seen in a World War II aeroplane prior to this. And unlike the hedge trimmer, it's cordless and rechargeable, so you can use it anywhere and you can take it with you. And it's really, really a pretty amazing product. It has a smart design. It's intelligently contoured design for you to be able to grip it easily, and it's not going to slip out of your hand, which is an amazing segue to the next part of it, which is that fact that it's waterproof, so you can use it in the shower and whatnot. So this is a pretty amazing piece of machinery here for all of us that need it. And everyone needs it, because you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the person that has the nose hairs and the ear hairs sticking out. My dad used to take me to a barber in Liverpool, and ironically, this barber, it was an older guy, had the worst hairs coming out of his ears and the worst hairs coming out of his nose. And always, as a little kid, I used to always watch that. So I never wanted that myself. So please, Manscaped, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code FAB. Thank you, people. There's never a thing ever where it doesn't matter to me. Hello, guys. Sorry, we've had a few technical difficulties, but we are here. We are back. We're ready to go. I missed the Dominic Cruz fight. I wanted to watch that, but I had trouble with my internet, so I'm not exactly sure what happened there. Thank you, guys, everyone, for being here and everyone for joining us. KC Brands, shout out from the 805 in California. Appreciate you, my man. Let's go. Let's go indeed, sir. Joshua Kirstein, you're the man, Fab. Thank you, sir. Very, very flattering. How was that fight, man? My internet messed up and I couldn't watch it. Joseph, Coach, what's up, baby? It's finally getting a bit warm here in Toronto, 10 degrees Celsius. That sounds like a heat wave, people. That sounds like an absolute heat wave for you guys. Gutted for Ulberg. That was a pretty big knockout, but they were going back and forwards, in fairness. That was a pretty crazy fight. Coup d'etat, she's taking over from Fab, says Jack the Ripper. Yellow, says Bam out of nowhere. It was a good fight. Dom did well and clearly won, but it was not dominant. Okay, cool. I didn't get to see it. Fab, I'm starstruck by Dominic Cruz. It was incredible watching Cruz's footwork and head movement again. Yeah, I wanted to watch that fight, man. I wanted to watch that fight, but I wasn't able to, unfortunately. Cruz was his usual awkward self, and Kenny kept low kicking him. Super Skunk says, hi, Fab. How you doing? I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm a little bit under the weather, I think. Last fight was pretty good. Little uncomfortably close for Cruz, but a pretty strong win. Joseph Kai did well today too. He did. I saw that fight, actually. I was able to watch that fight. He did really well to defend that submission. So good for him. Good for him. Sasang says Cruz was definitely tired, but his head movement was incredible to see again. Lorchy G says, how do you think Megan is going to go against Amanda? I think on the stand up, Megan's as good as anyone. The question is going to be whether or not Amanda's able to take it to the ground. And I think Amanda has a little bit more punching power than Megan, maybe. um, yeah, Kai hits super hard for a flyweight, so that's a massive weapon to have at flyweight. There was a little bit of trouble there that he had with the grappling, but man, I was super impressed. Um, a fight I'm looking forward to is Islam Makhachev versus Drew Dober. I'm definitely interested in that. Look, I think Amanda's definitely the favorite. Is she going to smash Megan? I don't necessarily think that might be the case. That will be the case necessarily. Depending on how the ground games come along for Megan. Because I definitely think there's a distinct advantage on the ground for Amanda versus Megan. um, Shout out to you, Fab. Uncle Fab, let's be honest, Megan got out grappled by Holly Holm. If she has any chance, it's using her length striking, and it's a big if. Like I said, I think that Amanda is definitely the favorite. I think that Amanda probably has a little more punching power as well. I think that on the ground, Amanda has an advantage. Definitely. Oh, Joseph, let's talk about the Islam versus Dober fight. Look, Dober's got some good knockouts. He can grapple. I think Islam's a very, very complete fighter. He's got a very good pedigree. He's got very good background in combat sambo. I believe he was a world champion as well. So I think, man, I don't know. Is Islam going to be able to maul Drew? That's a question without getting caught. Pip Dennison, my surfing and life coach, says frothing for the call, Hefe with Jacko and Jolie now. Both those gentlemen are also my surfing coaches. So shout out to those boys from Steel City Combat. Rakic versus Santos is going to be fireworks. Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is. Um, I think Santos is, in my opinion, a little bit more dynamic, has a little bit more movement to his game, and I think he's going to a little bit more explosive in straight lines than Rakic is. So I think that might be I think he might ice him actually. Um, any waves this morning, Fab? There are waves, but they're way too big for me. I can't go out there in that setting. Valeria, thanks for doing the commentary tonight. I'm excited for the Islam match. Valeria, you're too good for us. You're the hero we needed but didn't deserve. Thank you so much, Valeria. Always supporting the channel, always helping us. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. How long have I been running a strip club in my house from Ben 22? How dare you, sir? Valeria, you're the best. Honestly, you guys make this feasible. You make this be able to work. So thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. How come judo isn't being used in MMA? I think judo is used in MMA. Even from Australia, we had a very good judo exponent named Daniel Kelly who did judo. Then a lot of the guys, I think, cross training judo. At the moment, though, I think that some of the countries that dominate MMA at the moment, like the US, for instance, has a very strong wrestling base and not judo. But having said that, a lot of the Brazilians do judo as well. A lot of the Brazilians are judo black belts, and a lot of those guys coming out of Russia that do combat sambo. There's a very, very, very strong judo element in combat sambo. It is a jacket sport. Don't forget. So with the jacket, it's judo. I'll be back in 1 second. Would I consider Islam to be more of a stand-up fighter or more of a Khabib-like style? You know what's funny is I haven't seen Islam lately. You know what I mean? Like I haven't seen him fight for a good while. So I don't know how to answer that. I don't know because as you start to age, the grappling gets harder and harder and harder. Um, so I think that it's going to be very interesting to see. I don't know. I don't know if Islam's going to become more of a striker now. I do think he's got a little bit more. He likes to stand a little bit more than Khabib did, at least early on in his career. But I think that he's definitely a grappler in at the end of the day. Yeah, and there's judo guys, exponents. There have been a lot of good ones though. There have been a lot of judo guys. Um, you ask questions when there's a bolt with an eyelet on the roof at Bend 22. Is it for a bag or is it for the sex swing? I don't even know what you guys are talking about. What are you talking about? What bolt thing? What are you talking about? I hope you're doing well, Fab. Did you see that bad stoppage on the early prelims? Which one? Fab, do you think Thiago edged out John Jones? I did, David Morris. I thought it was a close fight, but I thought Jones took it very, very closely. Like, wasn't much in it. If they had given it to Thiago, not because Thiago didn't deserve it, I just would have been surprised if they had given it to Thiago. That's all. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. I can't imagine them giving the dominant champion the decision over in a such a close fight. Because don't forget, you're watching John Jones, and when you're watching it live and you're watching it there present, you expecting John Jones to win. So it's a bit different. It's a psychological thing. So we're about to kick off. Thiago Santos looks pumped, mate. He's a very serious man. I've seen this guy in real life when he was cutting to middleweight, and I did not know who he was when I knew who Thiago Santos was, but his cut to middleweight was so hard on him. You could tell like he did not look like him. He was like all sunken in. Like nice guy was on the lift. Was in the lift with me in Vegas, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" But I didn't know it was him. I was just being polite, and he's like, "Yeah." And then later, I realized, oh shit, that was Thiago Santos. Pranav says, "Okay, we're off. We're about to start. We're about to start." Thiago Santos looks pumped. We're off. There's a glove touch in the middle. Both men in the orthodox stance. Rakic is pouring with a left hand, looking for the jab, just looking to maintain his distance. He's not actually active with his jab, but more just pouring with his left hand. Sorry, guys, I just have a little bit of issues here with my computer. Jesus, of all times. Oh, we are back, people. There's 4 minutes to go. Good trading here. 4 minutes to go here with. I missed the first minute there. Now Santos has switched to southpaw stance. He's trying to get his lead foot outside of Rakic's lead foot. He switched back to orthodox and ate a massive leg kick by Rakic. And he goes looking for the lead leg. Nice stance there. Nice stance change by Santos when looking for a nice lead left hand. That's very, very dangerous. That so when he steps over his foot into southpaw stance and then fires that left hand down the middle by Santos, it's very, very dangerous for Rakic. Rakic is the more composed of the two fighters, I'd say, in as far as like just he's a little bit more cerebral, seems to me, a little bit more calm. Whereas Santos is more the wrecking ball, more the bull in the china shop. Both pouring at each other. The southpaw stance, Santos. Santos goes left straight, front kick to the body there from the southpaw stance, and then he steps into orthodox. I like what Santos is doing because he's switching and stepping in, and that's starting to become, he's starting to eat the inches away at Rakic. So that when they switch stance like that, which Petr Yan does a lot of, it actually allows you to get closer and closer to your opponent. And he has been quite successful in doing that today, Santos. Nice kick from the southpaw stance from Santos. Santos hits him with a left hook over the top, then goes with a left rip to the body from the southpaw stance. Rakic standing in orthodox stance, and he's got Santos up against the wall. Good job of chopping away at those legs of Santos. Santos has only partially checked a couple of those. Rakic is doing a fantastic job of chipping away at those legs, but he's doing it with powerful, powerful leg kicks. Santos in the southpaw stance now. He's doing a good job of getting that foot outside of Rakic's lead leg. It's outside of it right now as we speak. So that's something that Rakic does have to be aware of, is that left hand down the middle if Santos is continuously getting that hand outside of his. Nice, throws the right hand, does Rakic, but misses by quite a bit. Oh, nice combination. He goes looking for an uppercut and then misses with a high kick, does Rakic. Santos always so very, very dangerous from any stance. He has so much power and he holds his hands a little low, and that you can't tell if it's a kick or a punch coming from that chamber, and he swings for the fences. Out of the two, I think Rakic is the more methodical, possibly the more technical, but Santos does have that X factor where he can explode out of nowhere, and he's quite tactical in what he does. Nice kick to the body by Santos. Rakic goes looking for a front kick. Santos in the southpaw stance versus Rakic in the orthodox. Now Santos changes to orthodox. Now both men are facing each other in the orthodox stance. Southpaw stance for Santos. Santos looking for that left kick to the body and that straight left down the middle. Whenever he's in southpaw, that's what he looks for. Now he's in the orthodox stance. Goes looking for the kick to the body. In the southpaw stance, he corrals Rakic back into the corner, but Rakic goes looking for a check hook. Neither of the punches connect flush. Both men touch gloves, and that's the end of the round, people. I wonder what happened to my clock. I don't know how this works. This is all witchcraft to me. I had my clock. I don't know what happened. Santos is one of, yep. If I see a dude with a tattoo of a big ass hammer on his chest, my first move would be to run. Joseph, pretty sure Santos would catch you. The pay-per-view is at 3:30, says Jordan. No, we kicked off, man. This is the pay-per-view. Beetlejuice, hey Playboy, I'm doing high-risk training assessments today and listening to you. It's a great day. Yes, it is, sir. It's got all the makings of a great day. KC Brands, issues with ESPN Plus app. That's why I'm here with y'all. I missed too many big moments with freezers. Thank you, sir. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know exactly what it is, but I don't get to see, I don't know if it's recently or when or whatever, but yeah, it doesn't get it very well for me. We're off, people. We're off. Santos being edged towards the back of the cage with Rakic taking up the center. Rakic has got Santos right up on the edge of the cage, and Santos manages to work his way out of there, both men in the orthodox stance. Remember, though, if you remember the Glover fight, you know that Santos has power at any stage of the fight. And he's always in it. He's always in the fight. He's always got power. He's got power right till the end. I do have Rakic edging out that first round. I see Rakic having won that first round. It's 4:23 into the second round. So it's 4 minutes, 23 seconds left in the second round. Rakic with a nice wide stance, a lot of head movement, a lot of feinting, and he's starting to make Santos bite on his feints. And he's just for those that don't know, when you do something like this, what he's doing, he's edging him towards the edge of the cage with just his feints. It's very high level stuff to be able to do that. And what happens is there's only a certain amount of time that you can react the way that Santos keeps reacting, keeps biting on it, and you start to become neurally fatigued. And out of all the systems, the neural system is the first one to go. So he can't keep reacting to it. And that's when eventually you get caught, when you start to get corralled and you're biting into people's feints. But having said all of that, while I was talking, Santos did a fantastic job of fighting back and hitting with a straight left down the pipe to the body. Santos doing a good job of getting his lead foot outside of Rakic's, but not doing a lot with it. He's not capitalizing on it. Both men feinting, both men changing levels. There's a lot of respect for each other's power here. I do give the edge of power to Santos, but he hasn't been able to find a home for his power. The feints and that movement, that awkward timing is keeping Santos at bay. Rakic doing a fantastic job. He's sliding his feet out of the way. What happens a lot of times, people move their face out of the way but don't take their feet with them. And Rakic did a fantastic job of sliding out of the way of Santos's strikes. Now Santos has moved him into the back of the cage, but Rakic did a fantastic job of pummeling with him. We now have an over-under situation. No man has got the superior head position here. Santos is doing a good job of kind of being heavy on Rakic's left underhook, and that doesn't let Rakic get the good control and the good head control. However, Rakic did win the first round, and he's winning this second round too. And that's what happens in a 3-round fight, short of a knockout. If you win the first 2 rounds, you're going to win the fight. Very, very good showing by Rakic here. So Rakic leaning into him, doing a good job of holding him against the cage. Here, Santos really needs to make some space and pivot off. He has to show a little bit of desperation here because he doesn't want to keep getting held up against the cage. The guy's looking for a cheeky knee, does Rakic, does Santos, I beg your pardon, and Rakic is looking for some foot stomps and some big rips now to the body from that position. This is taking a leaf out of Kamaru Usman's book. Nice, well done by Santos. So he was able to pivot off there and throw a left hook on the break that just glanced off Rakic's head. Rakic is looking so good in this fight. Looking very, very, very good. Santos, nice leg kick landed on Rakic. Santos keeps changing from southpaw to orthodox stance, and you have to wonder, how do you come back at this elite level from a double knee surgery? You know, like, you do have to wonder that as well. And for this type of fight against another striker, which requires a lot of movement and whatnot, so very interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the comments. It was a double knee surgery, though, wasn't it? Nice jab over the top by Rakic into Santos' southpaw stance. So both playing with each other's lead hand. Santos goes looking for it, and Rakic goes with the lead right hand down the middle. Oh! Caught him with a nice jab, did Rakic, but Santos' chin has held up. These little level changes, the subtle level changes. He paused with his left hand, does Rakic. Nice flying knee attempt, but Santos was moving back. That's where Santos is super dangerous in those breaks. If you saw, that's the end of the round. In those breaks, Santos throws the left and the right with so much bad intention and so much power. Ben22, what do you mean throw up the stats? Did you know Santos was KO'd by Vicente Luque at welterweight? Yeah, yes, he was. Fab got a training question from the Sesh man. Do you use ear protection when you roll with your peeps, or just drain them if you have any big buildups? Of the collies, I don't really roll that much anymore, but now I never put the earmuffs on. I tried to put the ear guards on, like, I don't know, 15 years ago, but it just doesn't, it doesn't, it feels super uncomfortable for me. So I don't use it. If I get really bad cauliflowers, I tape them to my head, but I don't use the earmuffs. My clock's behind me in front of them. My clock's here, but it's not connected for some reason. That shirt is awesome. Love your stuff. Cheers by Ryan Biggs. Thank you, Ryan. I really appreciate it. Rakic versus Thiago Santos about to kick off the third round with Rakic, in my opinion, having won both rounds. Having said that, I am not a judge, so I'm not judging the fight. I don't know exactly who's winning. I believe that Rakic is winning, but I've been wrong before. Santos doing a fantastic job. Okay. I like what Santos is doing as well. But he's not been able to get the groove. He hasn't been able to find his groove. But he does have crazy amounts of power. Goes looking for a double leg. Rakic in those situations, though, not only does Rakic have good sprawl and good takedown, I do think that Rakic in this type of situation is a stronger fighter. In like the grapple sort of situation, I think he's stronger. But in the explosiveness, especially in the exchanges, I see Santos as being more explosive. But Rakic, I think, is more technical and more methodical with his stand-up. Nice leg kick landed by Santos. Both men in the orthodox stance. Rakic goes looking for an oblique kick, goes looking for an inside leg kick then. Santos in the southpaw stance hits Rakic with a huge shot to the body. Both men in southpaw now. And now Rakic goes back to orthodox. But Rakic is doing a fantastic job. He holds the center of the octagon. He moves Santos back and he makes Santos bite on his feints. And when he does that, not only has he corralled Santos so that Santos has nowhere to go, but he's also making him eat on the feints and hits him with a nice right hand there, did Rakic. There's 3 minutes to go in the third round. Santos goes looking for a lead left hand, but I do not believe that Santos is going to get himself out of second gear. Inside leg kick landed by Santos from the southpaw stance. Rakic still has a lot of movement in his feet. He's moving back and forwards. Pouring with his jab is Rakic. Rakic is now Santos up against the cage. He's doing a fantastic job. He just holds him there just with his feints. And then he's working his way back, pouring with the left hand, just pouring with the jab and making Santos bite on the feints. And that makes Santos move back into the cage. Having said that, Santos is dangerous from any sort of angle, any position. He just has that much power in his hands. But as the fight progresses, of course, your power diminishes more and more. And I also believe that Rakic has got it now, Santos' timing. I do believe Rakic is winning this fight, but I could be wrong. I'm not judging it. It's very hard. I'm just watching and enjoying it and just having a chat about it. Goes for two jabs, does Santos, and Rakic shoots a double. He's in deep on the double, and Santos is landing some big elbows to the side of Rakic's head. He's landed 2 or 3 of them. He keeps looking. Rakic is looking for that double leg. He looked to go behind with a duck under, but Santos is doing a good job of defending. He's defending with the whizzer, and Rakic's head is not in a good place right now. Now Rakic's head's starting to come up. Santos doing a good job of defending it, but you got to ask yourself, is he going to do enough to win? And I don't know that he will be doing enough to win at this stage. Good bicep control there by Santos. It's very important. He's got the whizzer there, and he's got the bicep control. But Rakic is doing a good job of holding him up against the cage. With a minute to go in the third round, I don't know how this is going to look in the judges' eyes if Santos gets held up against the cage for the remainder of this round. Thus far, I don't know if he's made a big enough case for him to have won this fight. Rakic has hit him with some shoulder strikes. Very interesting. I think Santos is going to get the break here. And in this exchange, Rakic landed the straight right hand down the middle. And that's one of the places where I think that Santos is the most dangerous, breaking away from the clinch. I don't know now he's starting not to be able to do it. Another inside leg kick landed by Rakic. Left, it was a small left kick landed by Santos. Santos's movements are looking very labored. He's not looking like Santos in other fights. The wrecking ball that I've seen many, many times before. Spinning hook kick by Santos, a swing and a miss. And that's a round, and I believe that Rakic won that quite comfortably. Excelente pelea, says Danny Acevedo. How long till the main event? A little while, Chaba. James Adusman, a great t-shirt indeed. Biggie is Fab's generation. Yes, he is, sir. Yes, he is. James Adusman, you do that, sir. He says, be right back. I've got to go to other live streams and tell people to come here. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Rakic looked amazing, I think. Okay, if they put him up, Ben 22, if they put up the statistics, I'll read them out. But right now, sometimes they didn't put him up. But if they put him up, I'll read them out 100%. Thank you, Christian. I appreciate it. Says, keep up the great content. Turn that camera and show the fight. Dragan. Kako si Dragan. I cannot, Dragon. I'll get sued. Ahmed H. What time is the Adesanya fight? It's probably in an hour. David Morris says, I'm a little bit disappointed in Thiago's timidity, wondering whether that's from not having confidence in his knees holding up. Noah Berman, those knee surgeries really took something out of Santos. I think that knee surgery in particular, I've never had shoulder surgery or anything like that, but I have had knee surgery, and I have a bad knee actually. You know, I meant to get a knee replacement, you know, so I don't really roll that much anymore. And I'm very young to get a knee replacement. But they've been at me for a long time about it, you know, because my knees are really, really shit, and they're really deteriorated in the last 3 years. And so all I'm going to say is, you not having confidence in your knees affects you psychologically, affects your ability to to perform, you know, or even to train with confidence, or to try things at training that, you know, you could do, or you want to try, or you want to do, but you don't have the confidence to do it because your knees are bad. Johnny Mlad says, lifesaver, bro, couldn't get through to order in time. Dobro tip, dobro. No, I know, man. My first job, Dragan, was making cevapi. My first job ever. Like, I was like 13 years old. I was working at a Serbian butcher. Shout out to Miloš Butcher in Cabramatta. And his son's name was one of my best mates growing up. His name was Dragan. Just letting you know that you have two Dragons in the chat. Of course, mate, with Rakic fighting, of course, I'd expect you guys would come out in spades. And I love cevapi. Wow, Rakic just got his brown belt as well. Good for him, says Noah. Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, we used to deliver cevapi all over the place. We used to mix it. We used to mix it with all the ingredients, cut it up. Used to get the chopping board. Used to make it like a sausage. So it's a skinless sausage, basically, for those that don't know. And it would come out of the thing, and I'd have to cut it. And like we'd get it, and it was old school, man. Like it was like a little machine, and we'd make like a little thing like this, and we'd make like 600 kilos in a night or something like that. And yeah, start in my bursa. Do you still roll, Fab? Not a lot. Like I just said, I'm meant to get a knee replacement, and so I have to be really careful with it. I don't really roll that much. I just, I have to be really careful with because it's not just the knee. That's the other thing. When you have bad knees, it affects your back, because then you change the fulcrum of your body, you know, because you can't bend your knees, so you do this and that. So I don't roll too much anymore. Maybe once a week, twice a week. I'm on the mats most days. But roll once or twice a week, and I'm very like only with like my friends or something like that. I don't like, I wouldn't go necessarily to a gym and just roll with whoever. Not because people are mean or whatever. It's just like, like you can't go somewhere that you don't know people and start going, oh, don't roll with me because of my back and my knees, or be careful, da da da. So I just roll with a couple of friends and that's it. How's school going, Fab? You enjoying it, man? They make it so fucking hard. They make it so hard. It's so ridiculous, like doing it online. So no, I'm not enjoying it. Um, are you live for all the fights? Yeah, man, I'm live for all the fights, every card. Rain, hail, or shine, we are here. We've never been rained out. We're always ready to go. Rakic looks like every Serbian dude I ever grew up with that like played soccer or basketball or anything like that. So I kind of go for him. Alex Taylor, I'd say it looks like a lot of top fighters in the UFC have blown knees or hip, like Rockhold or Ferguson. Man, it's it's fucking awful for knees. For that sport, for knees and hips, bad. Ben 22, I'm moving to Melbourne soon. Do you know what's the best jiu-jitsu gym there? I don't know what the best jiu-jitsu gym is, but Lachlan Giles is in Melbourne, so um, I would go. I would go there and go from there to Absolute Jiu-Jitsu, where Lachlan Giles trains. I don't know exactly which one it is, but man, there's so many good places. There are some big gyms like Absolute. Then there's Daniel Kelly's place. Daniel Kelly's a fucking fantastic coach, man. Like, I think you'd struggle to get a lot better coaches than Daniel Kelly. Man, the guy's, I think, been to 4 Olympics in judo. He's a national judo coach, state judo coach, jiu-jitsu black belt, UFC veteran. He knows his shit, man. So there's a lot of good guys out there. Um, and you'll probably find, like, in all big cities, there's also like those little hole in the wall gyms, like little quiet private gyms that, people aren't that well known, and you might find that they're better ones for you, like, so yeah, Melbourne's got amazing jiu-jitsu and amazing grappling. Oh, let's see. He's an absolute in there. Yep, I just said that. Just roll a joint, coach. Good for the knees. It might be good for the pain. I don't think it'll do anything for your knees because it's not going to change your structure. Who wins tonight in the main event? I don't know. I'll probably go with Israel, I think. Not because I'm discounting Jan at all, at all, at all, at all, at all. I think that just the reason I say it is because the fight starts standing. They both like to stand. Jan isn't a traditional wrestler per se, and so I've got to give that advantage to Israel. That's it. That's the advantage I give. I'm not saying Israel's going to beat him because Jan is absolutely no joke. I'm really, really pumped for this next fight. I'm just going to get more water, guys, and I'll be back. Ben22 says, sweet, thanks for that. What's the causes of your knee issues from KC Brands? I think for me it's just genetics. Like my dad had a bad knee like that, and I just inherited that from my dad. Um, my tibia and femur are not lined up. Like they're instead of being like that, they're kind of like that, and I have a lump on the side of my knee. which is a tibia. It doesn't sit in like the with the femur properly. And when I was young, I played like all sports that would have been bad for your knees anyways. Like played basketball, did athletics, played rugby league, blah 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 blah. So all of those things didn't help. But when I was younger, it wasn't too bad. But as I got older, it just got worse and worse and worse. And now I just have really, really bad osteoarthritis, and I haven't got full range of motion in my legs. So it's just that. Nothing like the reason I don't want to get a knee replacement is because I can still walk around, I can still take my dog, I can still do most things. So I don't want to go through a massive surgery like that this young. Paul Dumont says, let's go Megan. Pranav Murthy says, Drew Dober has got the thickest jawline I've ever seen in my life. Dan, there's a few dudes like that, though. Half cast, come on, mate. I'm going to put this up because at least you weren't bashing anyone. He says, possibly the most boring fight in the UFC. But I don't think it was that bad. I really don't think it was that bad. No, I'm not talking about you, Halfcast, but in general, guys, we have a no dickhead policy. Not you, Halfcast. I'm not talking about you just coincided with me bringing it up now. But yeah, so if people start fighter bashing or you start spamming or you start being too much of a clown, I'm just going to block you. But we don't really have that. So I really appreciate it. Man, I thought Jan makes a great champion. Russian kickboxer, trains out of Thailand. But Alja's completely stolen the show. I hope he wins. Man, I think those two are going to be a cracker fight. That's another sleeper fight for me. I've been saying that about this fight for ages, but I love watching Petr Yan. He's probably one of my favorite fighters right now. I've said that, but so is Aljamain Sterling. I love that. I love those collegiate wrestlers with a really, really good jiu-jitsu. I love that style. And I love the classical strikers that are able to transition to MMA. I love it. I love watching that. So both these guys are actually the two styles that I really like. Fab, everyone I know who had a knee replacement has done really well post-surgery. That said, since you're so young, it's very possible you'd have to do it again in a few decades. No, that's exactly right, David. That's why I want to, and it's also a relative thing. Like I don't want to have a knee replacement. I'm 41 this year. So I don't want to have a knee replacement now and then have to have it again at 55, you know? Where if I look after myself and I don't go full nuts with the grappling and all sorts of shit, like I can still go and hike, I can still take my dog for a walk, I can still, do heaps of stuff, roll a couple of times a week, once a week, without too much complications. I don't want to go have a knee replacement. I could probably get away with not having a knee replacement for another 10 years. So I'd rather do that. Mark Wallace says, thanks for your content. I think you are nice and insightful. Right back at you, sir. Thank you very much, Mark. What's been my favorite fight so far? Man, I was impressed by Kai in that fight. I'll Kai. I'll probably have to answer that JG better in a few fights because I couldn't watch, my computer cut out. So I couldn't watch the whole prelims. James Juice Man, you don't look a day over 40. Well, in fairness, I'm exactly 40 at the moment, almost 41. Resilience Training Center is Dan Kelly's gym. Yeah, yes, it is. Dan Kelly is a fantastic coach. JG, Brown don't crack, baby. Thank you, sir. Who ended up winning, Rakic or Santos? Rakic. Stem cells. Man, the stem cells isn't going to fix what I have. I've had stem cell treatment and it took away the inflammation, but that shit about it being like, it's not true. It will help if you maybe have some ligament damage or something like that. Yes. But if you have like what I have, it's not going to fix it. It's not. I know this because I did it. Spent a shit ton of money on it, etc., etc., etc. But yeah. No, but again, just so that I don't keep saying it over and over with my knees is a structural thing. It's not like you're gonna fix it with this or whatever. Like the bones are not like joined how they should be joined. 40 is young, even in 60s of age, as long as you take good care of your body. Original sin, yeah, 100%. I do agree with that original sin. You have to look after yourself, and that's where that decision for me comes in. Like I'm rather look after myself than smash my body. Bantamweight is going to be crazy. Sanya Dong and Kyler Phillips. Yeah, I didn't get to see any of those fights. Dober or Islam. That's the thing, man. I haven't seen Islam fight for a while. And Drew Dober has got some knockouts to him. You know what I mean? And he's a good-looking fellow. So I don't know. But I think Islam, if I'd have to go off like who I actually think will win, like as far as like what I've seen in the past, I'd say Islam. But you don't know when you haven't seen someone fight for a bit who we're going to get. But Drew Dober's no joke. He's no joke at all. He's got some knockouts in the last few fights, and so it's interesting. This will be an interesting fight. Let me bring up his record here so I can make sure that, yeah. So his last 3 fights have been TKO, KO. He has a submission loss to Benil Dariush. But yeah, man, it's Alexander Hernandez is a tough guy as well. He TKO'd him. I don't know. I'm going to have to say Islam. I'm going to say Islam. I'm going to say Islam, yeah. I think Islam will be able to get him to the ground. Drew Dober's got some thick legs, man, big calves. Yoga, weights, and cardio all through life to keep our human system going healthy and well into our later years of maturity, growth, and evolution. At least for me, I say. Yeah, I think some form of combination of that KC Brands is very, very good for you for sure. Rhino says Camileroy Pride. Camileroy Pride, sir. David Morris, thank you, sir. I appreciate the support, my friend. Thank you very much. He says, let's throw in, boys. And let's throw in, boys, indeed. I appreciate the support. I appreciate any type of support. It really, really helps out. So thank you so much, guys. Hi, mate says, Whitaker knocks out Costa. I believe he does. I believe Rob will be a little too quick for Costa. I think he's got a higher vocabulary of strikes. I think he hits as hard, if not harder. I think he'll be as strong, if not stronger, than Costa. I think Costa hits hard, so Costa might be able to catch him with a left hook when Rob's coming in or going out. But other than that, I don't see Costa beating Rob. You know, I see Rob chopping his legs to bits, to be honest with you, and blitzing in, hitting him with the jab over and over. And Costa can catch him. He's no joke. Costa's no joke. Costa might be able to catch Rob coming in or going out, but if not, it'll be a beatdown. I don't think that Costa can handle Rob on the feet or on the ground. That's my opinion. Thoughts on Costa's wine excuse? I don't know, man. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that we misquoted him, that somebody misquoted him or misunderstood what he said, or took it out of context. Because I think what he said, correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't know the whole extent of it because I don't get into the back and forth of it. But I think what he said was he had trouble sleeping. He'd been up for 24 hours, and then he tried to drink red wine, and half a bottle didn't do it or whatever, and he ended up drinking the whole bottle and then waking up hungover. So I believe that, yeah, that would be real. I believe that would affect. But at the end of the day, you know what it is, man? And this is why people, why do you think he lost? At the end of the day, dude, you get in, no matter what happens, you have to fight who they put in front of you, who you signed up to fight, what happened, and all the rest of it. It's fun to analyze post-fight and everything because nowadays we do the whole post-fight analysis. But what it comes down to is you got caught that day by that guy. That's it. That's all it comes down to. You shouldn't have taken the fight. And I'm not saying this just necessarily about Costa. It just is what it is. But I also think it's smart of him to say it because now everyone's talking about him, So everyone's talking about it. As ridiculous as it is, but everyone's talking about it. So cheers to him. Varun says Makhachev feels weirdly overrated and underrated at the same time. 14th in the rankings, but hasn't had a shot at anyone major except Gleason Tibau, I guess. I kind of agree with you in that he's kind of overrated and underrated at the same time. I don't know if he's overrated. I think the thing that affects Islam is that there is undeniably and overwhelmingly and constantly a comparison between he and Khabib, and he's going to face these comparisons the higher up the food chain he goes and the greater the success that he has. And so you're always going to expect him to be Khabib, so to speak. Rhino, Costa should have had a few VBs. Yeah, that would have helped. What happened at the end of the Cara France fight? Did you already talk about it, Fab? No, I didn't. I think there was a mix-up where Kai called it, and when he walked off or ran off or whatever, it hadn't been officially called, or he didn't realize it had been officially called. And I think he thought that the other fellow was going to get up. We're about to start, people. I think that's what happened. And then the other guy, last thing he saw was Kai almost hit him, and then that's why he threw the mouth guard at him, from my understanding. I think it was just a misunderstanding. So we're off, people. Islam in the southpaw stance, 4:52 to go in the first round. Both guys in the southpaw stand. Drew is sitting nice and low. It looks like he has a very thick, heavy base in his legs, very big calves, big legs. Islam moves sliding out of the way of the low kick by Drew. Nice. See, Islam has a nice kind of stance, the way that he stands in comparison to Khabib. Khabib is much more of a wrecking ball, much more of a bull in a china shop than Islam, in my opinion. Islam seems to have like tidier boxing, more classical stand-up, but that doesn't mean anything, really. Drew's doing a good job of kind of moving Islam back, and now my computer freezes. Unbelievable. Yeah, I'm not happy. Never used to freeze until this ESPN thing happened like this. Now, every single time it does the same thing. So I'm kind of stuck here because now we're off, and Islam got the takedown, and I wasn't able to see what takedown he did get him with. What I can see, though, is that Islam is in his half guard. Drew's looking for a lockdown here. Now he hasn't got the lockdown anymore. Islam has the correct underhook on. He's creating good shoulder pressure. So what he wants is to keep that right shoulder of Drew on the ground. What's interesting here is that both these guys fight out of southpaw, but the half guard that they're passing is to everybody's weak side. Even though these guys may be left-handed themselves, everybody else would pass the other way anyways. And Islam is passing to Islam's right-hand side on the half guard, and that's not the side that most people are used to. So whenever I have coached guys in the past, I always try and get people to pass this way because that is the weak side. You won't come across most people passing this side. So that's very, very good work on Islam's part. Drew's got this little lockdown happening on Islam's leg, but Islam's doing a fantastic job of just keeping him square. So he's keeping Drew Dober's hips square and his Drew Dober's right shoulder flat on the ground. So Drew's flat on his back and really can't offer anything in as far as being able to escape from there until he can get that right underhook in, and then he can start looking for different things. But right now he hasn't got the right underhook, and Makhachev is doing a fantastic job of guarding that jealously and not letting that underhook go anywhere. Great shoulder pressure. Drew's doing a good job of getting that left hand in there to stop the bicep pressure. And now Makhachev has passed, and it looks like he's in full mount. Drew's looking to get that leg back into half guard. I can't explain to you how hard it is when somebody's a good guard passer, how much energy this is going to be taking from Drew to just get Islam back into guard. And then Islam will start to pass again. This is extremely tiring for Drew. And then the small shots, one after the other. So Islam's going to start to pass again. He creates a pressure with his foot and he starts to pass. And Drew has to defend this pass. Now the knee ride, knee on belly. and he's passed. He's in side control. He's got great shoulder pressure with his right shoulder, left underhook, everything good. He's looking for the mount. I don't think Islam minds if Drew puts him back into half guard, and then Islam's just going to pass again, and this becomes incredibly tiring for Drew as Islam lands small ground and pound shots, but he's got great shoulder pressure here. I think that at some point he's gone for the mount again. Now he's taken the back, but Drew did a good job of spinning. Man, Islam's grappling is very, very good level because Drew timed that perfectly. He got out of the way, he turned, and Islam went to his back and got the superior position. Now he's back on top, went to half guard, passed again. Now he's looking for a crucifix. He's looking to get his legs under. Drew's done a great job of getting up to this point, but Islam once again looks to take the back. He's so good, man. He's so good. Goes looking for the armbar. Does Islam. This armbar is on, ladies and gentlemen. I don't believe Drew's going to get out of this. Islam has it here. It's on. The thumb's looking up to the sky. Drew's making some space between the knees. Islam is adjusting. Drew's looking to spike him to stand up. I think that this arm has been damaged anyways. Whether or not he gives it up or not, I think this arm has been damaged. And Drew now is in Islam's guard. Wow. There was a moment there where Drew was able to separate Islam's knees. And when he's able to separate the knees, for anyone that wants to do an armbar, keep your knees together. He was able to separate the knees a little bit, and that gave him a little bit of play for his thumb. So when the thumb is pointing up to the sky, your arm's going to pop. If your thumb's pointing anywhere else, you can escape it. You can follow your thumb out. Makhachev did a fantastic job of keeping that thumbs up in the air. And then Drew did a great job of opening those knees up a little bit to give him some space. That was the end of the first round. Laconic Lamour says, do you think Islam can live up to the hype surrounding his ability? He's never beat a ranked fighter in the UFC. Seeing this, what I saw here, this guy's legit. He's super legit. And it shows that the guy that he's doing it to, Drew, is no joke, man. Because just to be able to get out of that, to have the wherewithal to be able to push that far knee out and give you that amount of space to get out, you're a good grappler yourself in Drew Dober. So now we're off again. Both guys in the southpaw stance. Drew taking up the center of the octagon, moving forward, swinging with a left-right. Both men mirrored the same combination. No strikes landing. Dober swing and a miss. And in goes Makhachev with another single leg, not deep snatch single. Now he's got the body lock control. Drew Dober's got the whizzer and he's moving him. But it's never a good situation to have that deep underhook. Oh, nice inside trip by Makhachev. I love it. Man, this guy can grapple. He can grapple his ass off, Makhachev. Such a high-level grappler. What a takedown. Look. He's now once again passing to that weak side. Great job. It's so hard, man. Like, people don't understand. People don't pass that way. Most people pass the other way. Even if you're left-handed, people still pass that way on you. So it's really, really interesting. Now he's passing the other way. He's passing the more conventional way that people see. And he's creating a lot of shoulder pressure. And Drew has to look for that underhook, but it's so hard. Because not only is what he does, he squares you off. So even if you get the underhook, you can't really use it that well. Now he's fighting up against the cage. What Makhachev is looking for is that right knee of Dober's. He's not going to let that right knee go because he doesn't want that knee to get to the fence. So Dober's doing a good job because he's not on his elbow, so he's lifting his hips. But Makhachev's doing a great job. He's not letting Drew get that knee back to the cage because once Drew gets, and now it's the left knee. If Drew can get that left knee to the cage, he can start to escape. But Makhachev constantly squaring off Dober's knees. Now he's going to tie up the legs. He's tied up the legs. Dober knows what's going on. He's a tough guy, though. He's not letting that stop him. He's still going. He's still got a lot of fight in him. and he's still defending it, but that is exactly what he's doing, just defending it. He's looking for that wrist control of his Makhachev. He's not going to get it. Drew has a butterfly in. If he can get his foot on his hip, he may be able to try and kick him off. But the pressure that someone like Makhachev can generate is incredible. Great job on the ground. What this does as well, even if Dober gets up, this constant pass and him being able to retain his guard and pass again and keep on doing it absolutely drains you. Absolutely drains you. You're pushing constantly against the pressure as well as you're trying to shield. And Makhachev just keeps coming. Great shoulder pressure by Makhachev, and he's putting him up against the cage so that he can't use his hips. His chin is starting to get stuck there. So the back of Dober's head is stuck up against the cage, so he can't really use the hips and be able to provide any sort of pressure for Makhachev from the bottom. And whilst he hasn't really hurt Drew, he's absolutely mauling him, and it's absolutely fatiguing him. It's really, really difficult to be constantly stopping someone that's trying to pass your guard, and then when he passes your guard, he is very, very dangerous. Makhachev's top forward pressure is insane. Like, what he's also doing is he's not stopping, he's also coming forward. Because when he comes forward, he doesn't let Drew have any space to be able to get his feet on Makhachev's hips to kick him off or anything like that. So he's doing a good job there. See that knee that he lifts up? So he lifts up Drew's right knee and then lands a ground and pound. This where he gets a chin above Drew's head. He's able to land some ground and pound. Nice work. Drew done a good job. He's closed the guard now and he's trying to pull him back down. But it's a hard task with someone like Makhachev. Landing nice little elbow there from the bottom did Drew to maybe gain himself a little bit of space. 10 seconds to go in the second round. It has been all Makhachev. All Makhachev. 3, 2, 1 in the second round. Khabib cast a huge shadow over Alex Taylor. Says, man, what the UFC did to Rob was straight up dirty with that fight after all the injuries. I love that Rob is fighting his way back to form. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's funny because I think this is actually, was a lot of people say, oh, it's shit that Rob's had to fight 3 guys or whatever. But I think like Rob's gaining a lot of momentum and he's going to be very, very hard to beat. Very, very hard to beat. I don't like to talk about it too much because you've got to give Israel the credit. He won that day. It is what it is. But I do believe that if Rob and Israel fight again, I'm not saying Israel can't beat because I think there will always be a 50-50 fight. But I think that Rob will have more momentum going his way, I would say to you in that regard. That's all I can say on that. Also, he was a champion, so it's not like he could go and fight the 16th, ranked guy to have a tune-up. So the third round is about to start, and we're off. Touch gloves. Both guys in the southpaw stance. Ooh, Drew looking for the big left hand. Oh, tie clinch in the middle there. Makhachev hits him with a knee down the middle. And against this body lock, man, this body lock from Makhachev and others like him, it's insane. The inside trip again and drop him. People are asking about the judo. That they're very common. They're very common throws in judo and in freestyle wrestling. Like it's common along anything. So the combat sambo, it kind of meets judo and wrestling in the middle. So it is a jacket wrestling, and Russia has traditional jacket wrestling like that. A lot of these guys would have just done as kids, like the same way the Mongolians do, Turks do, Azerbaijan has. They all got like traditional jacket wrestling. So yeah, and that's very borrows a lot from judo as well. Now Dober's looking for a Kimura on the far side, and I do not think he's going to get this. I don't think he's going to get he's looking. I mean, he's doing a good job of nullifying the attacks here, but he's also putting himself in a little bit of danger by doing that. This, especially with someone of the level of Makhachev. I think he's also going to wear his arms out as well. Yeah. So what basically I was about to say, what that happens as well is you give up the shoulder control that he's now facing. Oh my God, he tapped him from there. He tapped him with the shoulder pressure. I was about to say he'll get him with a head arm choke, and he got him with like this modified Von Flue arm choke head pressure thing. Really, really good. Basically just cuts off the ear to the carotid. Wow. Wow. Islam Makhachev, what a monster. What a monster. He's so good, man. Wow. So I'm gonna miss a few that Islam leaves no space. Head and shoulders always pressing against the opponent. Yeah. He's so good. So good. Very, very good, this guy, man. Interesting at lightweight. Lightweight, I think, just got very interesting as well. Wow. It was like it was like it was shoulder pressure, like a Von Flue. Basically like a modified Von Flue is what it was. Very, very, very good. Nice. Very nice work. Very good fighter, man. Very, very, very good fighter. Very impressive. Hi, mate says Ngannou versus Stipe. Who you have? Um, I don't know, man. I don't know that one because I think Stipe should probably win, but Ngannou has so much power at any stage. Valeria, you're the best. Thank you so much. You're amazing. That was an amazing performance. Also, Coach Khabib is my favorite version of the Eagle. You know what? Funnily enough, mine too, Valeria. I think he as a coach is his knowledge base and his pedigree is pretty unbeatable, you know. And him being a champion and all of that aside, that's one thing. But that pedigree coming out of like Russia and the kind of training that he's done, I think he is an amazing source of knowledge, you know. And he seems to be a good coach. I don't know if he is or if he isn't, because you being a good fighter doesn't make you a good coach, but he seems to be. He seems to be like knowledge wise, for sure. You know, but he also has a depth to his character, I think, that makes people listen to him when he speaks, you know. Um, so yeah, I 100%. I like watching that. That man, that was incredible. That was really good. Joseph, after this fight, his name should be Islam the Eagle Makhachev. I think Islam just answered my question earlier, coach. He's definitely not a stand-up fighter. Laugh out loud, broke Dober down, then submitted him. No, but it's a fair question because his stand-up is actually really, really tidy. He throws nice little combinations down the middle and whatnot. But with that kind of grappling, you shouldn't strike with people. Um, Alex Pereira is watching the card live at the PI. Should he come to the UFC? Says Pranav Murthy. Man, the thing is, Alex Pereira, his kickboxing for kickboxing is pretty fucking impressive. You know what I mean? Like his actual kickboxing for kickboxing. I don't know. Like, I mean, is he going to be as successful as Israel? I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's a little different, man, because his kickboxing has developed for kickboxing in the last few years, if that makes sense. You know, the little nuances that make him a fantastic kickboxer just got him better. If Khabib doesn't come back, who do you think should fight for the title? Oliveira and Dustin, I think they're the ones, in my opinion. I think Chandler is right there in the mix as well. And I think this guy is going to be in the mix within minutes. You know what I mean? I think he made a. I think he'll have like, because of who he is as well. I think he'll have like one more fight, and he'll be in that contention. He'll be in that talk. That's what I think. I think it was, yeah. That was so impressive, man. Just the way he out grappled him was pretty cool, man. That was he just man. And what I'm trying to say to you is here when I'm watching this armbar escape, like the way the way that Drew Dober escaped it shows that Drew Dober is not a nobody. He knows what to do in those situations. And so you're doing that to a really good grappler, you know, that's really impressive. It's nice to see kickboxers transitioning well to MMA now. I don't think now. I think there's been certain kickboxers that have done really well in MMA, like Mark Hunt, Mirko Krokop. They did really well, man. They did really really well. But some dudes, it doesn't translate well. Their stand up doesn't, for whatever reason, you know. I personally think that strikers have a massive advantage over grapplers. Not that they're better, but I think like there are some advantages that grapplers have, and there are some advantages that strikers have. One of the better advantages that strikers have when they're transitioning over to MMA is that they've been in a fight, you know, and that is huge. That's massive. You can have been in, you can have had 100 wrestling matches, 500 jiu-jitsu matches, whatever, but and you got through them all without ever being punched in the face, and that makes a big difference, you know. So when you have guys like, I don't know, anyone that's had 50 boxing or kickboxing fights, you've been in a fight, you've been punched in the face. It's a huge advantage, you know. It's a huge. Then obviously it's going to be how do you do with your grappling and all the other stuff, but getting past the hurdle of getting hit is huge. Um, Oliver Ekman, how are you, Fab? Fuck, Islam is scary good. Super scary, man. Super scary. How are you, Oliver? I'm good. Islam's English is going well too. Great tool to promote himself. Yeah, man, it is important. It is important. Joseph, they got some monsters coming out from AKA Gym. Yeah, they do. They do. In fairness, a lot of those monsters coming out of Dagestan, but yeah, they absolutely do. So Ben22 says, Did you bet on Islam? Did you? Dober did very well. Credit to him. It's just Islam is on another level. I agree with you, Joseph. Alja the GOAT, who you got next, Fab? There's a right and a wrong answer. Is the next one Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling? I don't know, man. I I think Peter Yan, if he doesn't get submitted early, I think he's gonna start to chip away at Aljamain. You know, that's what I think. If not, if Aljamain can put a lot of pressure on him early, take him down, hurt him with some kicks, kick his legs, maybe. But you don't want to start having a debate with Peter Yan with 4 ounce gloves, like a boxing debate with him. So if Aljamain can get him down early, he can submit him. I believe he can. If not, I think Peter Yan's going to outbox him. Joshua Kirsten says, You're a champ, Valeria. Valeria is the best. Thank you so much for your support. Guys, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. You can support us on the PayPal, which Valeria has many times before. Support us on the PayPal. It's easier and better for us. But hey, guys, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for the support. Just you guys being here and watching and following the show really makes it worthwhile, man. So thank you so much. You're a champ, Valeria. Yes. Nutty Buddy says, Aljo the GOAT says, I'm disappointed, Fab. Man, I just told you the truth of what I think. I think Aljo can win, and he will win, I think, if he gets Peter Yan down early and he's able to out-grapple him early. But anything can happen. It's MMA. But if not, I do think that Peter Yan will outbox him. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited with this. I'll be back in a second, people. Have to get more water. Valeria. All right. We are off, people. Martovi, hey Fab, looking good as always. Could you bring the timer out so we could sync up? Yeah, it's not working, man. For whatever reason, my timer is not working. And I can't, yeah, I don't know what happened. My wife usually sets this one up because David Roberts has gone missing. So we'll see what happens. Quiero café, says Everson. Now I'm pretty, oh man, I'm really, really looking forward to it. Man, it's going to be good. It's going to be interesting. But I think Petr Yan has, I think 3, 4, 5, fourth round, I think we're going to see if Aljamain, the thing with Aljamain, man, his grappling is fucking good, man. He's very, very good. Very high level wrestler. Should have wrestled Division 3, was an All American. Should have wrestled Division 1, but it was for academic reasons, not due to his wrestling ability. And then his jiu-jitsu, he's like a legit competition black belt. You know, so he can, you know, he competes in pro grappling events. So he's definitely got the grappling advantage. It's not open and shut like people think. And I do believe that he can take, if he can take Petr Yan down, his back takes and front chokes, darces, anacondas, that kind of stuff. That's what you have to watch out for. And he's got pretty crazy kicks and reach for that weight division. Joseph says, I've noticed the last couple of live commentaries, the viewers are up, coach. Used to be at the range of 120 viewers. Now you don't go under 150. Slow and steady, coach. Road to 30,000 subs. Man, thank you so much for the support, Joseph. Man, it's you guys that make it possible. It's you guys that are the viewers, and it's you guys that keep pumping it up. So please like and subscribe and help so much, man. Thank you so much. Hi, mate. I want Anderson to win, but I think Nunes takes the win. I'd have to agree. Like, Nunes would be the favorite. Yeah. Samuel Mayer says, love your commentary and insight, man. Big love from Northern Ireland. I have been to Northern Ireland, man. Thank you. Love is reciprocated. I believe that's where they built the Titanic, isn't it? I went there. I went to where they built the Titanic. That was so cool. And the Titanic is surprisingly small. Nate Cherrington says, am I streaming the fight? I'm watching the fight here live as I speak to you guys. Hey, Fab, did people think you were Rob's dad? Nah, no one ever thought I was Rob's dad. First of all, I would have had to have had him when I was 10. Why would you say that, Martovi? So he's Aljamain. Aljamain's a long dude, man, for that division. Like, long legs, kicks well. It's going to be interesting. Oh, Martovi, only explanation to the doctor not letting you leave the room. That was so fucking weird that day, man. That was a true story, you know. Anyone, I'll let you look that up on Grange TV, on the old ones, on the old videos. Or someone can put the link up there. But that was fucking weird, man, that day. That was a weird day. KC Brands, I'm spreading the word out here in Cali, Grange TV, baby. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. I need all 40 million of the people who live in California to watch this show. Please, guys, let's work with me. Work with me here. So as a plus 110 underdog is Aljamain Sterling, which is very, very close. And I don't think it should be any, like, I think it's a close fight. So that's what I think. I think that Petr Yan, I like watching Petr Yan. I like watching actually both these styles, like I said earlier. Both those guys have the style that I like to watch. They're different styles, but I like both those kind of styles. Oliver Ekman says the doctor's story is the best. It's fucking shocking and disturbing, but it is a good story nonetheless. I will give you guys that. Petr Yan's walking out now. It's good to see these 3 title fights, man, on the one card. Interesting. Man, these guys, Islam did so well in that last round. I was so impressed, man. Everson says, does anyone have $10 to lend me? Mate, I need money. Samuel Mayer. Yeah, the Titanic was built here in Belfast, where I'm from. Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. I was right there in that where they have the pit thing where they built it. And I remember getting there. It must be every single tourist that goes there would have the same thing. You'd get there and you're like, that can't be it. Because it's small. It's relatively small. It's like way smaller than anyone would think it'd be. Do you get that a lot, Samuel? That people go, nah, that's not where the actual Titanic was built because it's tiny. It's tiny in comparison to like what you see today. Um, Izzy or Yarn for the win, my opinion. Izzy, Izzy, if it goes away that he can put his striking and whatnot to work early on and he gets that timing. You know, that's why I think Izzy, because I think he's a little quicker, um, and he's got that fight experience of 100 plus fights and 80 something of them were in stand up in the stand up world. And so that's why I give Israel the advantage. I'm not saying necessarily that Jan can't beat him. Martovi, you're a great storyteller. You really helped me visualize the moment. Mate, I just told it how it was. Is Jan a counter striker? Is Israel? And if he is, will that bring Israel forward? Against Romero, we had both fighting as counter strikers, and it made it a boring fight for some. From Dragan. Israel likes to counter strike, but Israel can be very aggressive too, and he likes to come forward. But Israel likes to do where he leans into you, makes you come forward, leans back, steps back, and throws a check hooks. He's very, very good. Throws a right hand down the middle. He'll create a false distance, and people think they're closer than what they are. And when they throw it, they get caught in that dead space, and he can come back with the right hand really well. Jan's a little different. Jan is the kind of guy that he's got a really awkward timing to him, you know, and I think that's just something that's inherent to him. So he's that little bit of awkward timing that he has is what will allow him to maybe be able to hurt Israel. And he also looks like the type of dude that just when he checks he kicks, they hurt. So the stats up here, the one thing that they did have was there's about a 4-inch reach advantage for Aljamain Sterling. But as I said earlier, there's a thing that Petr Yan does, which is like he switches his stance as he comes forward. So he's a switch hitter. So he'll come forward. He'll be in southpaw stance. He'll be in orthodox stance, and then he switches to southpaw as he steps through with the right leg, and then that makes you get so much closer to your opponent. So I don't think that the reach advantage is going to be huge here at all. James the Juiceman, how many checked leg kicks does it take before a fighter thinks, yeah, I'll stop checking? Um, Yeah, man. Like one, it could be. You know what I mean? If you get kicked bad, if you catch your foot on someone's knee or foot on the shin, it'll only take the one before you start going. Yeah, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that again. One, maybe two. You know, like depends on how it happens. So yeah, man. Like yeah, one, maybe two kicks. It depends on how they land. You know, it depends on how they land. Um, like I said, when you check that kick, you want to check your with your shin to the side of you, almost at a 90-degree angle, so that you're catching the foot and you're not going shin to shin. So, yeah, like I said, one, maybe two. Haven't heard many people say it, but I get what you mean. Definitely expected to be massive after watching the movies and stuff. Samuel May talking about the Titanic. -130 favorite is Peter Yan. But yeah, no, it's yeah, it's crazy that it actually wasn't that big. But at its time, it would have been big. Peter Yan's not mucking around. Neither is Aljamain Sterling. My wife's family is Chinese Russian, and I believe he's part Chinese Russian as well. Peter Yan, not Aljamain Sterling. And we are off. There was a glove touch there. Both gentlemen go back to their respective corners. We're about to start. We're about to start, Rick James. I'll tell you now. Sorry about the clock, guys. I don't know what happened to it. And we're off, people. There's 4 minutes and 57 seconds to go. There's a clash in the middle. Aljamain in the southpaw stance. And Aljamain switching stances back and forwards from southpaw to orthodox. Throws a kick down the middle. Looks for a knee stomp. Great work by Aljamain. Another knee stomp by Aljamain. Goes looking for the jab. Petr really needs Aljamain to settle. And he is. He's starting to settle now. Petr's very composed. He's standing in a nice, tight boxing stance. Aljamain goes looking for the right hand. Petr's still very composed. Aljamain goes looks for the level change, but doesn't go after it again. Another kick by Aljamain to the body. He's moving Petr Yan backwards, throws a front kick down the middle. Petr Yan now in the southpaw stance, goes to the body and then goes looking for an overhand left to the top. Aljamain goes 1-2, then a straight down the middle with a kick. Aljamain hits him with a flying knee, glances off him, and another kick to the head by Aljamain Sterling. Front kick down the middle. He's pouring away at him, moving Petr Yan back. I don't know if Petr Yan is hurt or not. I think he might be hurt. He's been hit with a right hand down the pipe. Right check hook by Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling doubles up on the jab. Goes looking for a kick. Petr Yan's trying to get off the cage. Then Petr Yan with a kick of his own. They're trading shots now. Petr Yan's high guard. He's got a nice high guard. Aljamain Sterling now lands another kick, hitting him with combinations almost at will. Front kick down the bottom. Petr does look a little bit flustered. Nice. He attempts a takedown of his own. Does Petr Yan. Gets a takedown on Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling kicks at the knees and kicks at the head. But this is going to be a welcome respite for Petr Yan, and he's making Aljamain Sterling kind of settle and trying to settle the fight. Aljamain Sterling back to his feet. 1-2 by Aljamain Sterling. Another flying knee by Aljamain Sterling. This one landed with a bit more pressure. Then he shoots a double leg. Aljamain Sterling is an absolute jumping bean in there. Lands another 1-2. Little jab landed by Petr Yan. Aljamain Sterling with another combination landed. Then he hits a double leg. He's in deep. He gets Petr Yan down. Petr Yan is trying to move Aljamain away and create some shields, but Aljamain's doing a fantastic job. Is Petr Yan going to be able to get up? Aljamain Sterling hits him with a knee to the body. Petr Yan's looking to take his back. It's a role reversal from these two guys. Petr Yan doing more of the aggressive grappling, trying to get Aljamain down, and Aljamain is looking to be the striker in this fight, leading the dance. Good work by both these guys, because Petr Yan has survived some big flying knees. He's done a good job there to hold Aljamain and try and settle him a little bit. Right hand landed by Petr Yan, and he drops Aljamain Sterling with a perfectly timed right hand. Oh, spinning elbow by Aljamain Sterling. These guys, what a great fight. Front kick down the middle by Aljamain Sterling. Petr Yan switches to southpaw, then switches back to orthodox. Another right hand by Petr. Hits the gloves of Aljamain Sterling. Drops him with a leg kick. Does Petr Yan, and Aljamain Sterling from the guard kicks, attempts a trip. He's kicking at the legs of Petr Yan. Petr Yan lets him up. One minute, 18 seconds to go. Right hand to the body by Petr Yan. Aljamain Sterling goes looking for a knee. Again, looks for a trip. But, he goes scissor takedown. He's going to look for a heel hook here. He will be looking for a heel hook. There's 1 minute to go. They're still relatively dry. He's going to be looking for that heel hook. He's got an inverted triangle on as well. He's hitting the body. Petr Yan is out of it. He's going to land some ground and pound here. He's able to sprawl out of it. Great work by Aljamain. And great work by Petr Yan. I love these. Both these guys are fighting so well. What a great fight. What a treat to watch, people. Left kick to the body from the southpaw stance. Then he stomps on him, does Petr Yan. Again, he takes the back of Aljamain Sterling standing. He hasn't got the hooks in. He's just standing. But he's doing a fantastic job. Is he going to go for his scissor takedown that he's patented scissor takedown? No, he doesn't. He's able to pick Aljamain up, and now he takes the back. He goes looking for it, but I don't think he's going to get Aljamain with any sort of choke. I think he's going to run a risk of Aljamain turning into him. And Aljamain does. He turns into him. Aljamain's a hell of a wrestler, and you don't want to be in those positions with him. Not right now anyways. But there's a role of reversal of sorts from both these guys. Petr Yan's pushing the head down, and he's able to get back up from that single leg. 3 seconds to go. Spinning elbow by Aljamain Sterling. Don't ask me who won that round, man, because I do not fucking know. I do not know who won that round. But I will tell you this. There was a massive role reversal. A huge energy expenditure by Aljamain. This is what happens a lot of the times in the Petr Yan fights. People come in and they fight and they look really good for 3 or 4 rounds. If Aljamain can keep that up for the rest of the fight, he can win. If he starts to deteriorate, Petr Yan's going to methodically start to come back. There's been such a role reversal. What I've seen from both these guys is they both fought at the strength of the other guy. And that's very, very tough on you psychologically. Let's see if Petr, so they're back in the middle. Petr Yan they both start off in orthodox. Wow. Aljamain goes looking for a takedown. Doesn't get it. Petr Yan, very methodical, very methodical. Aljamain again peppering with leg kicks. Lands a little jab. Petr Yan steps in very sneakily, switches to southpaw while he's stepping and throws a left hand that just missed. Goes for the kick, does Aljamain, then misses. And now he's in a turtle position trying to hold and control the wrists. He falls into guard. And Petr Yan wants none of it on the ground with him at this stage. Oh, nice axe kick by Petr. Nice work. Aljamain sitting in the guard. Petr Yan lands a nice leg kick from the guard position. Aljamain kicking at the knees of Petr. Fantastic job here. I love this fight, guys. I absolutely love it. No one deserves to lose this fight. They're talking to each other. And Petr Yan lets him up. Aljamain still full of energy, still a jumping bean. Nice rips to the body by Aljamain Sterling. I do believe that Aljamain's going to be looking to land another flying knee from that position. He's got a single leg, nice and deep. Man, Peter's so well balanced and so strong. He's able to push Aljamain down. He's got the double overhooks from the double leg position, and he's able to push. So what he's doing here is pushing his hips into the back of Aljamain's head, using the fence to do so. What Peter's going to try and do is scoot Aljamain back towards the cage himself so he can use it. But Aljamain let go, very smart, and he's worked his way back up to the top. This is taking a toll on Aljamain, though. If he gets Petr Yan down and Petr Yan pops back up, it's going to take a massive toll on Aljamain. And I do believe we're going to see a resurgence of Petr in the third round. So Aljamain is in deep now. He's linked his hands on the double leg. He's going for that body lock, but Peter's balance is so good. He's using that Wizzo to very good effect. Aljamain's head is below Peter's head, and this is going to create a little bit of problems for Aljamain because he doesn't have the superior head position. Peter's now, oh, nice work. He took Petr down, but Petr got back up. A lot of effort from Aljamain here, a lot of effort. He comes again to try the double leg, knees the body. Petr very composed. Aljamain looks again for the takedown. We're going to see another flying knee, I believe, from Aljamain. But his shots are starting to slow down a tiny bit, in my opinion. Peter's doing a good job of defending. I believe that both these guys will be fit as hell. It's going to be who can make the other guy fight his fight and start to get tired. As of right now, I see that Aljamain's really pushing for this takedown, and he's not getting it. And there's a lot of effort here being placed by Aljamain to get this position. Peter's doing a fantastic job of balancing on one leg, on controlling that wrist and not letting Aljamain have it all his way. Whilst at the same time still landing some little annoying shots to the head. Aljamain's using a lot of energy holding that leg up. A lot. After doing shot after shot, there's 1 minute and 26 seconds to go in the second round. Don't ask me who's winning. I do not know. I'm not calling the fight as a judge. I'm just calling it as a fan and as a commentator. I love it. Love it. Absolutely love this fight. So Aljamain's still holding on to that single leg. Still working. Now, there's 1 minute to go in this round. It's a long time to be holding like that. And this is going to affect more than anything. Aljamain, I believe, can probably grapple all day, but this is going to start to affect his striking more and more. And that's when Petr comes on in those third or fourth rounds. People stick with him until he starts to put things. Wow, lovely little escape there by Petr with a little arm drag escape that he did right there to make kind of shuck Aljamain off him. Aljamain still coming forward. Nice uppercut right hand landed by Petr Yan. And another little left hook landed by Petr Yan. Aljamain's very game, still very much in this fight. Front kick down the middle by Aljamain. He keeps coming out. He's giving the little combinations. Throws an elbow, throws a left hook, and lands a right elbow on Petr Yan. Then a spinning elbow, then shoots again for a takedown. Petr Yan has his back. There's 21 seconds to go. Nice little trip, and he's got that. He doesn't have it in, but he did go for the choke as Aljamain landed, but he doesn't have the choke in. Now he is looking to take Aljamain's back. There's 10 seconds to go. He's starting to land little shots from there. He has Aljamain's back now. Without no hook standing, I'm talking about. He's landing some shots there. Mate, I don't know who won. But I am going to say to you that slowly, Aljamain's not getting his game off, you know? So I believe that if he doesn't have success in this third round with that game, if he can't catch Petr with a straight right hand or a knee down the middle, I do believe that he's going to start to tire. I do believe he's going to slow down. And I'm worried that Ray Longo is going to take that chain off him. He's wearing the chain. No one rocks that chain the way Ray Longo does. So I do believe he's going to start to slow down, you know. And that's not a criticism. That's just he put his best out there and it didn't so far it hasn't worked properly. And that's a fight. That's what happens. You do your best and the other guy does his best, and sometimes you win and sometimes you don't. I think this is the third round, the critical round for Aljamain. If Aljamain can get Petr out of there or really, really hurt Petr, then he can win this fight. You know, if he doesn't, I believe that Peter's going to come on very strong in the fourth and fifth. Now we're off. Aljamain in southpaw, Petr in orthodox. Aljamain with a big body shot then from that stance. Nice inside kick by Petr. Now Peter's got a southpaw stance. They're both in southpaw stance. Aljamain threw a couple of kicks there, checked by Petr. He's landed a few jabs, has Aljamain. Aljamain goes looking for a left hook and misses, goes for a straight right down the middle. Front kick down the middle, looks for another jab from the southpaw stance. Petr goes looking for an outside reap, takedown, doesn't get it, but then hits with a nice left body rip from the southpaw stance. Knees down the middle by Aljamain. Nice little hook by Aljamain. Left hand straight down the middle by Petr, and then he switches back to orthodox. Now he's got the front headlock, does Petr, and goes looking for a knee down the middle. Aljamain keeps looking for the shots, but I don't believe they've got the same pepper on him that they did in the first and second round. And now Peter's starting to come forward. Petr goes again with a right hand to the body. Now there's going to be a right hand coming to the head. I do believe it. But he swing and a miss because Aljamain ducked under it. Both guys read that well. Oh, nice kick down the middle by Aljamain, but it landed on the nuts. And having said the nuts, guys, go to Manscaped, use the code FAB for 20% off. Calf kick attempt by Aljamain. Petr starting to come forward a little bit more. Lands a little cheeky right hand, does Petr. Aljamain's shots are coming with a little less pepper. Petr in the southpaw stance. He's very dangerous when he starts switching stances, Petr. Again, another kick by Aljamain. Goes for a single leg, does Aljamain. Petr still coming forward and starting to move Aljamain back towards the cage. Hits him with a little lead left hand. And now another combination. Another combination landed by Petr. Aljamain moving backwards. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Aljamain still got power in his hands. Aljamain goes looking for the body shots. But Peter's starting to take control of the middle of the octagon and starts to land his combinations. Right hand down the pipe by Petr. Left jab by Petr landed. Peter's now taking the center of the octagon and he's starting to cut the cage off of Aljamain, and he takes Aljamain down with an outside reap. Aljamain is on his back, and Petr signals for him to stand up at 2 minutes and 35 seconds of the third round. Petr throws another right hand that just glances off Aljamain's chin. Aljamain's looking for a way into Peter's defense, but Peter's high guard that comes only from having that many boxing matches is very, very good, and he's able to make that quite efficient for these smaller gloves. A lot of boxers struggle with that because the gloves are much bigger in boxing. But he's done a fantastic job of it. And Aljamain again. He's got 2 minutes now. He's leaning with Petr up against the cage. I have no idea who's winning the fight. I'm just calling it. Aljamain's holding on to that single leg. Petr's fighting for that wrist control, so Aljamain can't link his hands. And Petr, I think, hit him with a little knee on the break and might have got him with a little hook there. I don't know if he dropped him or Aljamain just kind of lost his balance. Again with another outside reap by Petr. Great work by Petr. Now he's starting to hit Aljamain with the ground and pound. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. I do believe that Aljamain's starting to tire. And in this stance, in where they are now, where Aljamain is in the open guard on the ground and Petr's standing over him, Aljamain is absolutely reactive to Petr. And Petr's starting to land some more and more shots to the legs, walks away. It doesn't look good for you for the refs, for the judges either. Again, a nice little left hand landed by Aljamain. Then he goes for a head kick, which Petr took on the gloves. Again, he goes looking for a single leg. Petr was able to get out of the way. Now he's got a front headlock on Aljamain. And he's starting to slowly shut down Aljamain's game. He's holding the head down of Aljamain, and he's starting to land some dirty boxing. Landed a nice calf kick on the break. Nice head movement by Petr. Aljamain's going to look for this knee. I do believe he's going to look for a knee down the middle. And Petr goes looking for that right hand, does Petr. The strike differential now is in Petr's favor. But in the first round, it was for Aljamain completely. Now Petr's asking Aljamain to come on, to head up forward, and Aljamain landed a beautiful leg kick on Petr. There's 16 seconds to go. Petr lands one of his own. And I do believe Petr's starting to come forward. This is the fight that I thought, if Aljamain couldn't get the game off that he was going to get on, this is what I thought would happen. Petr goes looking for a takedown of his own. But Aljamain tries to reverse it. Petr gets up. He's landed in the half guard. And that's the round, ladies and gentlemen. What a round. Wow, guys. I think it's going to be now Petr Yan's going to take over this fight. First 2 minutes, I think, of this round that's coming, of the fourth round, will be very telling, because I do think that Aljamain will have been able to take something from the rest that he had. But yeah, I think that that's going to be very, very telling of what's going to happen moving forward. I do think that Aljamain has slowed down considerably. And Petr's going to start to pick him apart with the boxing. Very hard to keep up with that level of boxing. Very interesting. We're off, people. We're about to start. Here we go. This is a telling one, the championship fights. So we're off. Fourth round has started. Petr once again being more confident, taking up the center of the octagon, checking that kick that Aljamain has thrown. The front kick down the middle is affecting Petr, though, I will say, and the left kicks goes high, does Aljamain. Then Petr goes looking for a takedown of his own. Gets the takedown. Aljamain's trying to kick Petr's knees in from there, and Petr's just standing over him. 4 minutes and 36 seconds to go in the fourth round. This doesn't look good for the judges, though, as far for Aljamain. Petr kicking his legs from that stance, from that position, and Aljamain staying on his back. Aljamain looked to get up, and then Petr hits him with a nice little combination, a nice little knee that was in there in that combination. Starting to come in forward. Oh, nice rip to the body by Petr, and then a right hand over the top does Petr. Nice combination by Aljamain himself, going to the body. Petr covering up. Aljamain trying to come forward, feints a kick. Little cheeky right hand landed by Petr, and then the stance change from southpaw to orthodox. Oh, and he takes another check, does Aljamain. Aljamain looking to kick, but now Petr starting walking backwards. Aljamain coming with rips to the body. Petr clinches with him. Aljamain goes looking for a throw, doesn't get it. Now this interaction in the pocket. Aljamain starting to reach for the takedowns. Petr looks for a cheeky sweep. Nice upward elbow by Aljamain. Doesn't hit it. The nice left hand down the middle by Petr. Petr looking to pour it on. He is looking for that opportunity. So far, Aljamain hasn't broken though. Nice right kick landed by Petr. Petr in the southpaw stance. Aljamain doing a good job of not getting corralled in the corner, trying to get Petr up against the cage. Peter's got the underhook, works Aljamain back. Now Aljamain's back against the cage. Petr goes looking for a spinning elbow but misses. Right hand missed by Petr. Aljamain with a takedown attempt. Kind of slips on the mat. Petr in the southpaw stance hits Aljamain with a nice lead left hand. Now again, Petr taking this back standing. Aljamain goes looking for a spinning back kick but doesn't get it. Hits nothing but air. Both men in the orthodox stance, fighting in the pocket. I believe Petr landing the cleaner of the punches, in my opinion. Aljamain trying to walk Petr down and throwing kicks and knees down the middle. Left hand lead landed by Petr. He goes looking for that outside reap again, doesn't get it, but does a good job of bending Aljamain's leg right back. Petr goes looking for a jumping knee, but doesn't get it. Those kicks of Aljamain Sterling, front kicks down the middle, affect you, man. They hit your body and they start to take your gas away. But Peter's still got a lot of zap left in his punches. He's just the more composed of the two in the striking. Lands another lead left hand, does Petr. Landed a nice little left hand, Petr did. Landed a knee up the middle there. Aljamain goes looking for a double leg, doesn't get it. Petr shucks it off. Aljamain once again looking for another double leg, doesn't get it. Petr gets a little arm drag escape and he achieves that. Lands a little right hand in the clinch, a little knee in the clinch as well. Lands a 1-2, does Petr. Aljamain takes it on the chin and comes forward. Goes looking for the front kick down the middle again, does Aljamain. Goes looking for the body rip, another left hand landed by Petr. Right high kick looking, Aljamain. Aljamain goes again looking for the high kick. Then goes looking for the takedown, and once again, Petr gets a front headlock position. He's going to hold the head down and try and land a few hits there. And there's 35 seconds to go. Lands a massive knee. A huge knee. Was he grounded? It looked like he was grounded. It looked like Aljamain Sterling was grounded. Are we going to see a disqualification? Are we going to see a point deduction? Or was he, in fact, not grounded? Was he a grounded opponent? He has to have 3 points on the ground. That was a huge knee. Well, it must have been. He must have been grounded for the fight. Yeah, he was grounded. He was grounded. Oh my God, that was such a huge knee. Was that frustration? Was that poor judgment? I don't know. The problem is, dude, when you get hit that flush, you're not okay. You know, and in a close fight like this, man, in a close fight like that, a knee like that is, I think that's the fight. You know what I mean? And they come back and do it again. I'd like to see him continue, but I think it's a huge disadvantage to Aljamain. Huge knee down the middle. My God. You don't come back from something like that. I mean, he might. Fuck, who knows? But I'm just saying to you, he'd be completely rattled. Now, they're going to call this fight. They're going to call this fight for sure. There's no way you can let this guy keep fighting, dude, if he's that dazed. My God. And it's crazy because it looked like Petr was starting to get the momentum his way. Like, definitely getting the momentum his way. I don't know how big of a lack of judgment that was, how big that was a frustration. I don't know. Are they going to disqualify him? Are they going to call it a no contest? I don't know. That was a huge shot, dude. That was a huge shot. I like how Peter Yan's like got his hands out like, I don't know what happened. And he hit the guy with a mother of all knees. Oh my God. Yeah, like Sterling is still down. What I don't get is if the guy's down for this long, how you can even talk about continuing this fight. You know what I mean? Like you can't talk about, yeah, let's kick this fight on. Like the dude, like if this was a boxing fight, they would have counted him 3 minutes, not 10 seconds, you know? So how are you gonna continue a fight like this? And that's the fight, ladies and gentlemen. That is the fight. And he was starting to fall apart. I believe, Aljamain, as a result of Peter Yan's pressure, not as a result of Aljamain not doing well. But yeah, no, this fight can't continue. Yeah, I don't know if it just becomes a disqualification or if it becomes a no contest and then they fight again. I don't know. Yeah, I believe Justin Gaethje just said here, this call should never be on the fighter, plain and simple. With a shot like that, it's over. The doc does his job, walks in, and it's over. That's what I think. Like that's just fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like what are you gonna ask him? Like he's a fighter, dude. He's gonna fight to the death, you know. And end of the day, like you call it. I don't know what the rules are as far as like does he get Dingo's belt or whatnot, but that's it. That's the fight. You know. Keiko says he's kind of milking it. Oh, like, dude, I don't know that he's milking it. You've been ever hit fucking flush hard, especially when you don't think you're going to be hit because he was a grounded opponent at that time. So, boom. Yeah, you don't think you're going to get hit. So, that's the game, you know? Bang. Oh, my God. The ref's like, time. I'm going to work out and get bigger and stronger. And hopefully, I'm going to look like this ref. That's my goal. That's gonna be me on steroids. Is that ref? Man, I was enjoying that fight. Yeah, the one, especially if you think you can't get hit from there. You know, it was massively illegal knee. No way, mate. Get your friend and knee you in the face and try and make an omelet. Impossible. Varun, that's the one, eh? That's the test. That's the omelet test. Get someone to run up and hit you flush in the knee with his knee, and boom. What happens? I don't know what happens here. I don't know if they went to the judges' scorecards. I don't know if they like because it or if it's just a straight disqualification. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think so. A hard illegal shot like that is what it is, a hard illegal shot. He shouldn't continue anyways. You don't recover from that shot. You know what I mean? You don't just recover from that shot like that. So he's taken the belt. It's a disqualification. So he won the belt by disqualification. He's not happy. He leaves the belt on the ground. He's very clearly, very, very upset. That's the thing. You can't like when I saw that. That's what I said. As soon as I saw it, I was like, you can't. You get hit like that. You can't just. You don't just go and fucking wash your face off and you're ready to go. Like he wouldn't even be able to spar for the next 60 days or whatever. He'd be on medical suspension. Like that's like getting knocked out. Like if he was boxing or kickboxing, or not boxing, if he was kickboxing, he would have had a 10 count. 100 billion%. You know? So yeah. And I could, in my opinion, Peter was starting to come on in that fight. My God. My God. Having said that, when we're speaking of low blows and illegal shot, ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about a very important topic, and that's a topic of weed whacking. Go to Manscaped, get 20% off plus uh, free shipping with the code FAB. And usually, when we talk about plucking those nose hairs and doing trimming around the ears and whatnot, most of us are used to doing that with weapons such as this. While effective, they can be cumbersome. They can prove to be cumbersome. And everyone's personal favorite is also this beauty, something like this. Whilst very effective, it's also hard because sometimes you don't have the right extension cords and whatnot. So Manscaped has given us this, the Weed Whacker. The Weed Whacker is skin safe. It has a replaceable head. It has high performance motor, so premium 9,000 RPM motor powers. This is something that you would have probably seen in a World War II aeroplane prior to this. And unlike the hedge trimmer, it's cordless and rechargeable, so you can use it anywhere and you can take it with you. And it's really, really a pretty amazing product. It has a smart design. It's intelligently contoured design for you to be able to grip it easily, and it's not going to slip out of your hand, which is an amazing segue to the next part of it, which is that fact that it's waterproof, so you can use it in the shower and whatnot. So this is a pretty amazing piece of machinery here for all of us that need it. And everyone needs it, because you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the person that has the nose hairs and the ear hairs sticking out. My dad used to take me to a barber in Liverpool, and ironically, this barber, it was an older guy, had the worst hairs coming out of his ears and the worst hairs coming out of his nose. And always, as a little kid, I used to always watch that. So I never wanted that myself. So please, Manscaped, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code FAB. Thank you, people. Yo, crazy that the fight ended the way that it ended. Like yeah, I I don't know what the scorecards were. I think someone just asked that then. Um, so somebody said, "What were the score?" So who asked that? Somebody asked. Very curious what the scorecard was before the DQ. Says Michael Wood. I don't know what the scorecard would have been necessarily, but I think that the way the fight was going, I would see Peter was starting to get on top of it. You know what I mean? Starting to land the better combinations, starting to stop Aljamain's takedowns, and that's how I saw that. You know what I mean? I saw it as Peter starting to get the rhythm of the fight, so to speak, and the momentum of the fight. Having said that, Aljamain was doing a fantastic job. He was doing a really good job, and he kept landing that front kick down the middle, which does start to take your gas out of you. But man, the knee down the middle, man, that's crazy. Hi mate says, what did Peter get disqualified for? Kneeing the ground opponent. You can't land. You can't knee the ground opponent. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know, man. That was. I don't know why he kneed him the way he did. Because it was. He can punch him. He could have uppercutted him from there. And it would have had a similar kind of effect. Not as obviously a knee's brutal. A knee's like a giant knuckle. So yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what made him do that. I think he was starting to win that. But there's going to be a rematch. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, nobody would have picked that one. And I'm sure everyone's, I told you Aljamain would win. No one would have picked that to go that way. Yeah, I don't know what James Ravestin says. Peter Pan was in Never Neverland, didn't know what the rules were. Yeah, I don't know what possessed him to do that, to be honest with you, because it was quite obvious the guy was grounded, in my opinion. Rick James, Megan on next. Yeah, let's see what happens here. But Amanda Nunes is a dangerous woman, man. A dangerous, dangerous woman. Having said that, Megan, the thing with Megan is she's got good stand up and she's got quite a bit of length on Amanda Nunes. Amanda's like very broad in that, but Megan's got length. Fab, they said on the broadcast that Peter asked the corner and they said knee him. Khabib was there and heard it in Russian. I fucking don't know, dude. You know. Somebody says, Michael Wood says, I'm excited for the rematch. Hope Alja can make some adjustments. Yeah. So Matt Hennessy says, apparently his corner shouted kick, so he kicked. Wow. Nunes knocks her out by a head kick. Laugh out loud, says hi, mate. I don't think so. Rick James says, Fab, they said his corner said if he can hit him, they said he could kick him. He asked his corner if I can hit him. They said he could kick him. Yeah. He can kick him, just not in the head. Yeah. I don't think that, like, I think that Megan's stand up isn't bad. She's got good stand up. You know, she's a very long girl. So I don't think that Amanda's gonna have it all her way necessarily. The act itself wasn't funny, says First Australian, but Peter raised his arm at the end like he was still champion. That was hilarious. Yeah, oh, man, I don't know. I just don't know what happens there. And I don't know, does he get an immediate rematch? Is that what happens? So yeah, I believe no, he definitely has concussion, dude. He's not in a good state at all. You know what I mean? Now Megan's stand up's good, man. Her stand up is good. I don't know if Nunes will be able to get it to the ground, where I think that's where the big advantage will be. You know, and the Holly Holm fight was a while ago. Wow. So yeah, that's yeah. I don't know. Aljamain's knee was smashing. You know, I guess he'll get an immediate rematch, especially with Hagen fighting TJ. I think I think yeah, I'm still stuck, I'm still stuck on whether or not it's going to be a rematch or not or whatever. I don't understand. I don't really get it. Because the problem is, and I like Petr Yan, he's probably my favorite fighter, but it was a very, very flush shot. You know what I mean? It was a very brutal and very like straight. Like that's a knee to the head, you know? Mark Wallace, nah, mate, I reckon I could take that knee to the head, no problem. I was dropped several times as a child and can't picture it being much worse. Maybe. Brad Wi-Fi, what happened about the intentional foul? Yeah, they disqualified him. She's coming out to Hilltop Hoods. Ha ha ha. Repping Aussie hip hop. What a legend. James the Juice Man. Okay, Jason Correa, commentators, and Alja himself implied rematch. Awesome. I don't think Alja will be allowed to fight for at least 6 to 9 months. He'll probably be on medical suspension for 2 months, for 60 days. And then after that, we'll see what happens. Wow. Crazy. Crazy night of fights, people. And Aljamain was fighting hard. He was doing well, but I believe that Peter was starting to take the momentum of the fight. Ref told Jan Aljo is down. Fuck, he was down, dude. James the Juice Man says talks of Conor Dustin rematch is so annoying in my opinion. The problem is that for Dustin it's a money fight, and it helps. That's the end of the day for that. I think it should be Dustin versus Oliveira. It was a great fight nonetheless, even though it was starting to become one-sided. Martovi. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Peter was starting to get the flow. First Australian, Megan should be practicing her jump shot right now. The hell is she out there with Amanda? First Australian. Look, dude, I honestly think the stand-up is going to be closer than people think. Mark Wallace, though I don't know Sterling, he wholeheartedly seems so upset at the way the fight ended and seems like he'll be happy to run it back. I agree. I think so too. Wow. The thing is, if he eye gouged Aljo, nobody would dispute a DQ. I don't think you can dispute that DQ, man. I got fucking need flush in the head the way that he did. Anyone can, if you get, do the omelet test, man. Get need like that flush in the fucking head by a pro fighter and then go try and follow a recipe and cook an omelet. You can't do it. Naughty Buddy says Aljo wasn't faking. I don't think a Sarah Longo's fight is going to accept that kind of victory without a rematch. I definitely think he's going to do the rematch for sure. Amanda Nunes scares me so much. I've seen her in real life. I've seen Megan as well, but I've seen Amanda, and Amanda is like scary, dude. Like she's thicker than most women. She's got like a density to her than most women. It's annoying how Martovi says it's annoying how people were trashing on the fight because it was starting to become one-sided, and they're failing to appreciate how Peter was able to remain composed and stick to his plan. Man, absolutely, that's how Peter fights. That's how he fights, and that's what makes him so dangerous and a good champion. Was a champion. First Australian MMA Twitter is piling on Sterling right now, Fab. The Russian bots on Twitter are going all in on Sterling, saying he deserves an Emmy, etc. It doesn't matter if it's real or not that they hurt him. The reality is that he did knee a downed opponent. That's it. That's a game. That's a game. Fab, can we get a peek of the salt lamp, says Michael Wood. There's the salt lamp, people. There it is, mate. Down and dirty. Aljo the GOAT. Aljo is champ now. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Martovi, rules are rules. Yeah, no, absolutely. There's no disputing that. That wasn't, to me, that wasn't like a controversial finish or anything you got like that. Ryan Biggs, did you guys already address Aljo asking between rounds, why am I so nervous? Thanks, guys. It doesn't mean anything, dude. Like that's the other thing. It doesn't mean anything. Like what's said in the moment between your fighter and the camp, you can't like decipher that. I think Peter thought you needed 3 points of contact, not just the knee down. He even asked his corner and they said he could hit. Unlucky end, Mason Clapp. But it is 3 points down. Knee and the 2 feet makes 3 points. Alex Taylor, shouldn't it have been a no contest and no one gets the belt? No. Not on a DQ though. It's not a no contest on a DQ. And like a shot like that is a DQ. So, yeah. Let's go, guys. Stephen Shippo says, stupid rule, take a point away and keep fighting. Just couldn't keep fighting, man. He got need flush in the fucking head. Israel going to be fast on the feet. I would have loved to see him do boxing. He's crazy fighting on the outside. He did box though, man. He did box. He had like 6 pro boxing fights or something like that. Since he will be coming in as a champ, means a bigger payday. For Sterling, absolutely. Yeah, I hope Megan wins as well. I do hope Megan wins. I think it'll be. She's a plus 575 underdog. plus 575 underdog. That's huge. No, like I agree with you, Aljo the GOAT, that Aljo is not a paper champ. A champ is a champ. He won that. Try and do anything after getting hit like that. Like that's what people don't get that. Like if you got hit flush like that, you're you're in La La Land. It's going to be interesting. Minus 910 favorite is Amanda Nunes. If you're down on your hands, feet, and knees, but not out, you should still be strikeable. Why is that a rule in place? It first, busted Bob. It doesn't matter why it's a rule. It just is the rule, and you have to adhere to that. But I think it comes down just to the way the commission went with it. You know what I mean? Like, what's a downed opponent? And I think it comes. If I had to guess, it comes from boxing. If you take a knee, you're down. You're a downed opponent. You know what I mean? I think if I had to guess. Um, Fighter who get illegal shotted and fight on never wins. Mob Squad Tony. Yeah, like if you get hit like that and you fight on, you're not going to win, dude. You're going to be in La La Land. Or just more damaged, even if you win. We're about to start, people. We're about to start. Both girls. I think Megan's significantly longer than Amanda. They go out, they touch gloves in the middle. Both girls in the orthodox stance. Both girls very tentative. Megan having the center of the octagon. Leg kick attempt by Amanda. Megan's very, very long, man. She's very long. And she's using her range quite well. She's keeping Amanda at the end of her, like, kind of end of the arm. And now she's switched to southpaw. She's got her foot outside of Amanda's. Amanda goes for a single leg, but Megan was able to shuck it off. Amanda goes 1-2, misses, then hits with a low kick. Amanda very aggressive now, coming forward, taking the center of the octagon. Both girls very tentative, but both are respecting each other's stand up. Right hand over the top by Nunes. Oh, she hits Megan. She hits Megan flush. She goes looking for it again. She hit Megan flush. She hit Megan very, very flush then. She knows she's hurt Megan. Megan in the southpaw stance. Nunes goes looking for the right hand again. Then she hits Megan low again. She hits Megan with a jab. She takes Megan down. This fight is over, ladies and gentlemen. She is ground and pounding Megan very, very hard. She's going to take her back. She's ground and pounding her hugely from there. Megan goes looking for a single leg. Amanda takes her back. She's going to sink this next hook in. She's sunk the hook. She's going to be looking for this rear naked choke. Has she got it? I think Amanda's still got an arm in there. She's got a half Nelson here with a body triangle in deep. There is no way out of this for Megan. I think she's going to get tapped out. She took a huge right hand, a huge one. Oh, it's a triangle. I thought it was a body triangle. No, she's not getting out of this. No way in the world. She got the arm in so deep. Yeah. Wow. Amanda Nunes is a monster. Wow. Oh, fucking wow. Wow. That was brutal. That was brutal. Yes, I think everyone knew that Amanda would win. Like, even those of us who were going for Megan. Oh my god. Wow. Great work by her, man. She throws that over the top. Boom! Right on the temple. Oh my god. So you just see that shot there, that right hand that landed on the temple before by Amanda Nunes and Megan was like all over the place. Imagine you're down on all fours and a dude knees you full flush on the temple. Your feet don't work, your legs don't work. That's what happened to Aljamain. Yeah, she took her down, ground and pounded her, put her in like a triangle and armbarred her as well. Wow. Yeah, I think so too, bro. Be a good watch though. Nunes is tough, but Clarissa crazy good boxer. Yeah, but Nunes on the ground is too good for Shields. But are you talking about straight boxing? I think Shields beats her in straight boxing. Maybe though. I don't know. I'm not. I don't follow women's boxing to that extent. I also expected more of a fight, Jason Correa, but she got hit with a monster right hand. Monster right hand. Wow. Wow. That's crazy, man. Oh, there's a little kid in there. I think it's Amanda's son or daughter. I'm not sure. Sorry, I can't tell. We've got the kids kind of facing back to me. Oh, cute little kid. Wow. When you see a woman with that much power, though, it's in their hands, it's such a fucking crazy advantage. Rick James says it's a girl. Okay, this is a cute little thing. It's that age, though, that I can't tell. Kyle O'Connell, I love your commentary. I just wanted to ask, and I hope it's not too personal. What happened between you and Rob? Are you no longer coaching him? No need to reply if it's too personal. Respect. Kyle, man, you're about a year too late. It's been a long time. It's been said and done over and over. I just stopped working. We stopped working together about more than a year now. So yeah, like nothing. It's just business, man. It just is what it is. We went our separate ways, and that's it. It's business. It's like I don't know, you work play in a football team and you switch teams, like or in my case, it's the team's still the same. I sold those gyms and I'm doing some other things. Um, and that's really all it is. Um, I wanted to see Amanda and her wife fight in the UFC. They talked about it a couple of years ago. Yeah, I don't know. I think Amanda would beat the fucking brakes off her wife. Um, I just watched that knee from Jan, intentionally thrown to hurt. He knew that and was vicious, says Casey Brands. I I'm just surprised at how it was done, like yeah, I was just really surprised at how it was done because I was like, why would you even throw that? I feel like he was winning that. But who knows? Heat of the moment, easy to say. Give me 1 second, guys. Man, if that guy had hit me like that with that knee, I'd be dead, man. I'd be fucking dead. I am back, people. I am back. If you don't believe that if you don't believe Aljo, get on all fours with your head down, stay that way until your friend decides to randomly knee you in the face and come back to the chat. I agree. My wife's boyfriend bought the pay-per-view for me and he's letting me stay up past my bedtime. I'm so excited. Nice. TAFE extraordinaire would be a funny shirt too. James the Juice Man. Where's the Ballon of Bruiser? He's saving lives, people, putting out fires and saving lives. I just blocked a fuckwit off the net there. There we go. If you got blocked, it's because you're a fuckwit. So anyone that puts on stupid, shitty, hateful stuff gets blocked. So fuck off. If you don't know who you are, you're the fuckwit that got blocked. Oh, hey, Hassan Ahmed, mate. Did you get some sleep? Good for you, man. If you did, man, how are you? Good to have you back. I'm really looking forward to this fight. This fight's going to be pretty fucking insane. Yeah, so I don't usually like blocking people, but I'm going to start blocking people more and more. Yeah, I don't like it, original sin. I don't think it's necessary, like whether it's to me or to other people or to the fighters or whatever. I don't want the negative, hateful shit on here. You know what I mean? Like it's not what the channel's about. Bastard Bob says, would you ever work with City Kickboxing, Fab? I don't. One, they have their own team. I don't think they need me. And two, I wouldn't really go and work with any like established gym necessarily off the top of my head like that. One, because they have their own thing, and two, it's not what I want to do. I don't want to go and work necessarily with anyone, not City Kickboxing in particular or not. I've got my own things that I do and that I'm doing, and so I don't. I worked with Alex Volkanovski. He lives near me. It suited me. It suited him. Like it's not wasn't. He trains with Joe, trains with City Kickboxing. But as far as me going somewhere and training at any particular gym, like it's not really something that I want to do. Scott Hutchinson, yeah, man. I I always answer the comments as much as I possibly can. Yeah, the knee was pretty bad, man. Rick James, what did he do? Nothing, man. Just when people are stupid, if you put on a comment that's just like mean or just unnecessarily critical of people, whatever, you know what it is, man. If you don't know what people do, like you know what I mean. If you're one of those people who don't know what it is, you're the dickhead. You know what I mean? Like you can't. If you wouldn't do that at a party or you wouldn't say that to people's face, then don't say it. Famil says, assuming Israel wins this one and Rob wins against the wine enthusiast, do you reckon we get Israel versus Rob for their next fight? I'd imagine so. I'd imagine like I can't. Well, really, who would Rob have to fight if not Israel for the belt? Like he would have beat everyone in the division up to that point. Casey Brand says self-respect over here and to others. I agree with you, sir. Here comes Israel. Further to that, I think if Rob wins, whether Israel wins here or not, you still get Rob versus Israel. I actually think Rob versus Israel is more or less it's going to happen, unless Rob loses to Costa, which I don't think will. The man, the myths, the legends, Fabricio there and Eli. The men, the myths, the legends, Fabricio there and Eli Hedges. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Very, very flattering. Is Jan touching the hanged man's rope before each fight? the most mental pre-fight ritual. Dude, I don't even know about it. You know what I mean? I don't even know about it. Didn't even know he did that. Um, yeah. No, this will be a good fight, man. Israel's very, very, very good. Very, 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 very good fighter. It wasn't you 1 foot out the door, I don't think. I apologize for being rude earlier. I don't think it was you, mate. Because you'd be blocked. So it wasn't you, mate. Easy by submission, 31-1. Laugh out loud. Man, if he drops him, he could submit him. If you think the post you're about to make is offensive, it probably is. Simple as that. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I think so, man. Like, like, just don't be rude, man. Don't be mean. We have a good environment here, where people can come together and we can watch the fights and everyone's pretty cool. So, yeah, can I make it to the pub in time to watch it? Depends how far away the pub is, Scott. 1 foot out the door, still upset over Alja getting the belt like that. Man, I would have wanted to see that fight go all the way, but we didn't. We didn't. It was sad. 1 foot out the door. Also, don't mind chipping in for the pay-per-view too. Hey, man, I really appreciate it. Honestly, I really appreciate the support. And please, guys, like and subscribe as much as you can. Tell everyone you know. Hit the notification bell so you get all the fights. Go to Manscaped. Use the code FAB to receive a free shipping plus 20% off all goods. Somebody here wrote. What did they write? Somebody, I can't see where it is, but I saw somebody wrote it. Said, do I watch Last Chance U? And would I make, I think, Randy said, do I watch Last Chance U and would I do a review on it? Yeah, if people want me to review something that I'll watch, 100% I will if there's enough people wanting to watch it. I actually really enjoy Last Chance U, just being that I have been a coach, worked a lot in rugby league as well. Um, I work with a lot of rugby league players more than anything, like in a mental sort of situation. And so, yeah, I can fully get where that comes from. And that's, I like watching Last Chance U. Scott Hutchinson, love the attitude. You got me. Rick James, yes, I think you can, Scott. You probably got about 4 minutes, 5 minutes until the start of the fight, give or take. So, Scott, if you can make it, love the attitude. You got me. Thank you, sir. You had me at hello. If you have 5 minutes to make it to the pub, yes, you'll get to watch it. This guy is a serious man as well, so I'm looking forward to it. Agostino de Souza sending good vibes. Thank you, sir. It's been a tough couple of days, mate, for me. I haven't slept properly in I don't know how long with my baby girl. Enjoy the main event, folks. 1 foot out the door. Thank you, guys. Likewise, thank you for the support. Thank you for watching with me. This makes it all worthwhile. We're going to see some interesting stand up here. Bastard Bob out of nowhere with a huge right hand. Thank you so much, Bastard Bob. I really appreciate it. I can't tell you guys how much that does help. Every little bit helps. All of the support. Thank you so much, guys. You can support us on PayPal as well. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Valeria. Thank you so much to everyone that supports. Valeria's always on. She always supports so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. On the way, subscribing later, dudes. Thank you, sir. There has to be at least 20 to 25 pounds difference after hydration. Yeah, they'd be close to that. About 8 kilos, I'd say. Yeah, 7 or 8 kilos, I'd say, between the two of them. Thanks for your podcast. It's Bastard Bob and awesome content, dude. I'm a local in Sydney and always like your content, bro. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. Will Rob be watching this fight with interest, do you think? No idea. I don't know. I do not know. Um, this is gonna get interesting, man. But like I said to you before, Israel's a big dude. He's not a little guy. Very lean, very muscular guy. Just got kind of like narrow shoulders. Doesn't have like big, massive shoulders, but he's not a little dude. Now, Jan is bigger for sure. Jan is bigger, but Israel's not little. So I don't think the size difference will be as significant as people think. You know, Israel's very, very good movement, very flexible, very athletic, big guy. I just want this to kick off now, man. I'm starting to get nervous and agitated, ready to watch this. How do you think Jason Tomalolo would go if he'd done MMA since he was a kid? Just from an athletic perspective, he'd be a fucking monster, dude. Like, he'd be an absolute monster. But the other big difference is, does he like to fight? Can he fight? You know, that's a big difference. You know, can he fight against other big guys his size that want to fight, that love to fight, that love to scrap? That's a difference. If he likes to fight, his athletic ability, he'll kill someone. Israel looking very, very focused. And so is Jan. Size will matter if they clinch, says Rick James. So, though, Israel has got very, very good clinch game, man. And he's got very good levers. You know, he's got very, very good levers, which allow him to be very, very good in the clinch. Having said all of that I just said, I don't know what is going to happen in the fight. I'm not saying that Jan won't be able to impose his strength, but let's see what happens. This is the fight now. Jan is much thicker, but Israel's not small, man. Israel's not small at all. Jan's thicker, but Israel's tall and long, and he's good, man. He's very good, very big. Brutus M says, "What's up, Fab? Just got off work, checking in. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. Can you do a 10-second countdown?" We're pretty much there, James the Juice Man. We're off, people. We're off. Round one has started. No glove touch from Israel, but he did it respectfully. And Jan goes looking for an inside leg kick. Israel keeps switching stances. Now he's in the southpaw stance, and he looks for the inside leg kick. And I think this is going to be the story of the game because Israel can kick without tell from either side. Man, he's not little, man. He's not little at all. Jan's thicker, but Israel's not little. And it's hard to find him. Israel's doing a great job with his footwork. He moves in and out of range and moves laterally so well. And he's looking for those inside leg kicks. Both guys are quite tentative. I think they both know each other's power and each other's timing is going to be crucial in this fight. Israel in the southpaw stance. Now Jan's starting to bite on the flinches, but pushes Israel off with a push kick. Goes looking for a jab to the body. Israel again making Jan flinch with his feints. Ooh, nice calf kick by Israel. There's absolutely no tell on his kicks. Absolutely no tell on his kicks. Then he goes looking for that jab down the middle. No tell on his kicks whatsoever. Now he steps outside. He's going to look for that calf kick again. But then he switches to southpaw. He steps outside. Jan goes with the left hook right hand. But Israel springs out of it like a cat. Very, very good work by Israel. Nice work by Jan to cut that distance. Jab by Israel. He's just outside of the range. Israel looking for that lead left, I think. There's no tell in his shots. That's the thing with Israel. He's so fluid and so fluent with it. There's no tell. Jan's felt it in his calf. Jan has felt those kicks in the calf. And he's already starting to mark. But Jan's doing a good job of starting to kick. He has to kick with the kicker. He can't stay and let those kicks land from Israel. Jan's doing a good job walking Israel forward. Israel goes looking for a left high kick. Goes looking for a lead left hand, does Israel. Goes looking for a left high kick, Israel. Got a great vocabulary strikes, does Israel Adesanya. Jan hits him with a jab to the body. Leg kick on the outside by Jan. Israel goes looking for a lead left hand, then skips inside. Again, great work. So he throws a left hand, then he's able to slide out of the way of Jan's counter. Israel feints. Jan goes looking for a left high kick of his own. Jan's staying composed at the moment. Israel's showing all the feints, a lot of tricks. Israel, he can't afford to land. He can't afford to take too many more of Israel's kicks to the calves, though. Ooh, I don't know if he partially checked that one or not. Israel is looking for that left high kick of Jan's to land on Jan. Sorry, to land a left high kick on Jan. Israel's showing so many different angles, so many different looks. Jan lands another kick. Pointed to the body and lands one to the outside of Israel's leg. Israel lands another calf kick. Israel's able to slide in and land the calf kicks with no tell. That's a big difference in this fight, I see. Goes looking for an oblique kick, does Israel. Goes looking for the jab to the body, is Israel. Very, very fluid in his movement. It's hard to get a real good tell on what Israel's doing. Nice kick down the middle by Israel Adesanya. Goes looking for a left high kick that time. Jan goes looking for a lunging left hook. No luck. Jan doubles up on the jab. Israel slides out of the way. Jan goes looking for another body kick and lands it. Again, Israel making Jan bite on the feints. Inside left kick landed by Israel. High kick by Israel. Jab by Israel. Another calf kick landed by Israel. Kick down the middle by Jan. And that's a bell. That's a first round gone. I have to give that to Israel to say the truth. Thank you, CTV Jamaica. I appreciate it. Hi from Southern California, issued all day. First Australian, is he turning it into a kickboxing match, bringing Jan into his world? Certainly looks the case. Yeah, he is. But he's doing a few things well as well. That Jan is. But does Jan need to do what Weidman did to Silva to win the fight? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's also going to be how this fight keeps going. I can't say. Like right now, Israel's movement's a little bit too much. Yeah. Israel's looking fantastic in there. Israel's timing and the way that his shots come off, you can't see where they're coming from. They all come from the same chamber. Israel's making it faint, and making Jan bite on the feints. Now the exchange in close. And Israel's able to slide out of the way. Throws a calf kick again, does Israel. His timing is impeccable. Nice jab. Israel hits him with a nice jab down the middle. Jan hits him with a little right hand of his own, but Israel was already getting out of the way. Israel looking for an oblique kick, goes looking with left high kick up the top. Jan is now being moved into the cage. Israel hits him with a nice left hand lead. Jan comes back with a check hook of his own, and Israel is now looking for that calf kick again, I believe. They exchange there. Israel gets hit to the body there by Jan as he's moving out of the way. Jan hits him with a little lead right hand, but Israel's always sliding out of the way. They're starting to exchange more in the pocket, and Israel's starting to be able to slide his head out of the way. This is a dangerous game being played, and in a way by both guys, because Israel's a much faster, more technical guy. But Jan is a dangerous guy, as we've seen so in the past as well. Hits Israel again to the body. Smart move, because the head moves, the body's not moving as much. Jan gets out of the way of that lead kick to the head. That he's stepping heavy on his calf is Jan, I believe. Israel's working Jan up into the corner, throws a little jab, throws a jab again. Jan goes swinging with a left hand. Again, Jan biting in on Israel's feints. Jan goes looking for an inside leg kick. High kick thrown by Israel misses. I think they both slipped on the floor there. Israel managed to slide out of the way of Jan's punches. Again, feints, and Jan bites on the feint. He can't get caught looking at Israel either. Nice calf kick by Israel. Inside leg kick. Again, nice inside calf kick by Israel. Nice clinch. And there's a takedown, but Israel's back to his feet. Very, very good work by Israel. Jan hits him on the break, on the way out. And Israel goes looking for the oblique kick. 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. I believe Israel eye poked him. And we're about to start again. There is 2 minutes to go in this second round. Another calf kick by Israel lands on Jan. But inside calf kicks, he's landing from the southpaw stance. Extremely powerful. Extremely painful. Oh, outside calf kick landed by Israel again on Jan. He can't take too many more of them. And he knows it. Front kick down the middle by Jan. Then a little jab. Israel's able to slide out of the way. Israel throws a kick and misses. Then he comes with the lead left hand. Great timing. Right hand thrown by Jan. Israel's able to slide out of the way. They exchange jabs. He landed low, landed right on the groin of Jan. And for everyone that's watching, speaking of balls, go to Manscaped, use the FAB code to get 20% off everything that you want from Manscaped and get free delivery. So that's a code FAB, F-A-B, that's my name. And we're off again, guys. 1 minute, 17 seconds to go in the second round. They're exchanging lead hands. Oh, they exchanged it in the clinch there. Both guys showing off a good chin. 59 seconds. Jan attempts a flying knee. Israel moves back. They smile at each other. Front kick down the middle does Jan. Left hand lead by Israel from the southpaw stance. Jan goes low and then tries to go high with a combination of punches. Israel is able to slide out of the way. Jan hits him once again with that left leg. Israel's doing a great job from that southpaw stance. Another rip to the body by Jan. Ooh, the inside leg kick by Israel is great. Lands it again, lands it twice in a row. Jan's leg would be in all sorts by now. Lands a little cheeky hook on the outside of Israel's head, but Israel was moving away, so it dissipates a lot of the force. Jab by Israel. Inside leg kick by Jan. Time. Interesting. Because Israel is landing good shots, man. Landing really good shots. But this little kick that Jan is landing there on the liver is a very interesting kick. And Israel's doing a good job of masking it. I don't know how flush it's landing on Israel, but it is landing. And there have been a couple of body rips that Jan has landed. Israel has landed those kicks, though. Third round, we're going to see it. We're off, people. They exchange jabs in the middle. Again, Israel making Jan bite on the feints. Right, left landed by Jan. It's not a huge shot. Not huge shots, but the problem is for Israel is if Jan starts to get his read on it. I believe he checked that one. I can't tell properly. Little left hook landed by Jan again. If he starts to get this read and this distance on Israel, it could be dangerous for Israel. Right, left landed, and then Jan goes looking for the double leg, which he hasn't got yet. It looks like he's taken Israel's back. But Israel's got to his feet. Jan goes looking and hits him with a little knee. They exchange. Both guys exchange. Israel's looking very aggressive now. There was a good little exchange there. Israel with a nice uppercut, left hook combination there. Left jab down the pipe by Israel. Israel's starting to show more of a vocabulary of strikes. He's starting to move forward on Jan. Left hand lead by Israel. Little check hook landed there by Jan, I believe. 1-2 there by Jan. Little jab landed by Jan. Nice kick by Israel down to the body of Jan. Big clinch here by Jan. Israel's very long, though. It's very hard to take down. Israel's got the whizzer here. There's 3 minutes and 12 seconds to go. Israel's looking to frame. He's got the frame. He's got the frame in. So that left arm that he's got, that's the frame. Israel's going to look to push with the whizzer and then push the other way with that elbow. But no, he's lost the frame now. Jan's got the head control here. And nice deep underhook. 2 minutes and 49 seconds to go. It's got deep body lock. But Israel's very long, man. It's very hard to get people like this off the cage. Now it's going to start to clinch. Looking for the knee. Oh, there's a calf kick again landed by Israel. Nice jab landed by Jan. He's looking for a check hook. I believe a right hand was going to come at the end of that. They exchange jabs. Israel looking again for this calf kick, I believe, from the southpaw stance. Now Jan changes his stance to southpaw as well. He's trying to cut the cage in on Israel, but Israel's very, very, very cagey. Hits him with a little jab, does Jan. Oh, nice jab by Israel. Goes swinging for the right hand. Misses the right hand. Gets hit with a check hook by Jan. But Israel again was sliding out of the way of that check hook. Little exchange there by both guys. Calf kick landed by Israel. Goes looking high. They exchange shots. 1 minute and 35 seconds to go. The calf kick looked to be checked there by Blachowicz. Another shot landed there. That body kick to the liver would be affecting. Lands a little jab, does Jan. Another jab, does Jan. They exchange jabs in that time. Israel's still making Jan faint. Bite on his feints. Gets hit with a little check hook, does Israel. There's 1 minute to go in the third round. 51 seconds to go. Nice exchange again with the body lock. Is Jan. Israel is because he's so long. He's able to get his hips back in time, and Jan is now holding him up against the cage with the double underhooks and stomping on his feet. So it's 22-20 significant strikes. They're saying it's 22 seconds to go in this round. 22 in favor of Israel at the time. There's 20 seconds to go. Incredible fight. Very, very tactical, very technical. Edge of your seat because you know either one of these guys can knock the other one out in a split second. Nice little exchange there again by the guys. And that's the round. 2 to go. 2 rounds to go. Man, I don't know what's happening in this fight. I don't know who's winning. I don't know any of it. I'm just watching it as a fan, and my God, man, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm absolutely drained just from watching this fight. Whew. About to have an anxiety attack, I can tell you that now. Wow. I'm jittery watching this fight, guys. Very, very nice. Very good level of fighting. Unbelievable. Israel's able to slide just out of the way constantly. There are little exchanges that are happening there. Oh, the shots are landing in those exchanges. James, I told you guys Israel was a big fellow. Nice inside kick landed by Israel again in the start of the 4th round. 4 minutes and 52 seconds to go. Oh, 1-2 landed by Israel. Nice 1-2 landed. Jan goes looking for a takedown. Again, Israel defending quite well. He's got a nice deep underhook. Jan is in low. Jan's looking. He hasn't got his hands linked. He goes looking for a single leg now, Jan. Israel's able to get out of it. He frames. That frame that he has with his left hand is very, very important. It doesn't allow Jan to get inside. Israel comes looking forward. The best time to attack him is after the grappling exchange, and Israel's very good at it. Little combination there, but nothing landed flush by Jan. Nice jab by Israel. They exchange jabs. Another jab landed by Jan. Again, Israel making him bite on his feints. Great job. Clubbing left hand by Jan. Kind of lands with his arm on the back of Israel's head. Israel looking for angles. Jan starting to try to walk him down. Israel's very good at getting in and out of the angles and finding different things. Hits him with a nice thing. And again, Jan with a kick to the liver. Israel with a jab. They exchange jabs. Israel able to slip out of the way. Exchanging close. Both guys landing. Nothing landing flush. Oh, Israel with a nice right hand counter. Then a good combination in the pocket. Oh, another one too by Israel. And Jan shoots a double leg and he's able to take Israel down. He's in Israel's guard. Israel's got one hook in. Jan's looking to pass. He's starting to pass and he's starting to pass to the weak side. Good job by Jan. He has to pass to this weak side and he has to create pressure with his shoulder to keep Israel flat on his back. He's doing a good job of doing this. And he's landing a little bit of ground and pound. The major thing here, guys, is he has to keep Israel's back flat to the ground. If Israel's able to get his back off the ground, then he's going to be able to get back up. Israel's doing a good job. He's fighting to get that half guard back, but he's keep the half guard. This is what's happening as well because Jan is passing to the weak side. Because he's passing to the weak side and make it very, very hard for Israel to regain this half guard. I think Jan's going to do a good job of holding him down. He has to try and hold him down. It'll give him this round in the bag. And he's landing a little bit of ground and pound. Israel's very calm. He's very, very composed. Israel's leaving his guard open there. And I think, and Jan's choosing not to pass. And I think it's smart from both guys. I think Israel's trying to bait him into trying to pass, and Jan's doing a good job of not passing. Jan's doing a good job of holding him down. There's 1 minute and 43 seconds to go. Israel's surviving the ground onslaught. Jan's staying in the half guard. So he's basically using that half guard as a Turk rod to keep Israel pinned and keeping that underhook. This is very smart work by Jan. There's not any significant damage that he's doing here, but 1 minute 21 seconds to go in this round. I think this round starts to become Jan's completely, and he will be wearing on Israel. This is what tires you now. When you try to put the guy back in guard and the guy passes your guard. Now he's gone to side control here for Israel. Israel is in a little bit of danger here, but Israel's very smooth, very smart. He's going to try and look for an exit. There's 53 seconds. The saving grace is that I don't think Jan wants to attempt anything that's going to mean that Israel's going to get to his feet. He wants to win this round, and he wants to win it convincingly. This is his round to lose, so to speak. Israel's trying to turn. He goes back to half guard. That's what starts to tire you out. If Jan starts to try and pass again, and the weight starts to become more different on the ground. It's harder on the ground for the smaller guy. 21 seconds to go. Good job by Jan. Starting to land a little bit of ground and pound. 14 seconds to go. He's opening up on the ground and pound a little bit. Very smart by Jan. Very smart to not get overexcited. This is interesting. This changes the complexion of this fight by a fair bit, because this round now is clearly to Jan, and I would give one or two of the rounds, maybe one of those rounds to Jan as well, So now it could be even going into the fifth. That was the round then. Wow, I'm going to have a fucking anxiety attack. Wow. What a fight. What a fight. What a fight. The official, I don't know what the commentary is doing officially, but no, it's a close fight. You can't watch, man. Sometimes you can't watch with the commentary, with the UFC commentary. No disrespect to them, because I think they're brilliant. But you watch it, man. You watch one fight and you watch it with the sound off. And it's just like, I have my biases as well, of course. But I think this fight, I think Israel was winning. And then it started to go a little bit down for him. And now this round, he obviously going to win. So let's see this fifth round, how it goes. He's got a very good poker face, does Israel. Well, that round was definitely to Jan, So I don't know then the others how they go. I'll probably have it as a draw here at the moment, with Israel being super dangerous. Inside leg kick landed by Jan, then a right hand lead landed by Jan. Ooh, left high kick by Israel, but taken on the gloves of Jan. Goes looking for a calf kick, almost hits a check hook though, does Israel. Exchanging jabs, the boys. Israel slipping out of the way of the jabs. Goes looking for a right hand counter to Jan's jab, and then Jan throws a left hand down the middle, a left leg down the middle, I'm sorry. Israel getting out of the way of the punches, hits Jan with a nice jab. Ooh, they exchange shots there. The thing with Israel, he slides so well, so Jan never really lands clean. Inside leg kick by Israel. Then, the guys exchange in the pocket. This is crazy. Wow. Again, they're exchanging jabs. Oh, they're both biting on each other's feints. Israel goes looking for that left side. Little exchange there. Oh, my God. This fight is insane to me. Israel goes looking for a left hook. Great head movement by Israel. Inside calf kick by Israel. Three minutes and 14 seconds to go. Left hand jab there by Jan. Oh, Israel goes looking for a high kick. One, two by Israel. Israel is looking for a spinning kick. Nothing doing here by either guy yet. Israel is looking for a combination. Jan counters. And right hand lead by Jan. Exchange by both guys. Israel showboating a little bit, but gets taken down. And I do believe if Jan can hold him down, this is going to be Jan's fight. Israel's got to get his feet on Jan's hips, but he's not doing that. So while the guard stays closed, Jan can hold him down quite easily. Israel's looking to try and set up. Israel does a very good triangle escape that he does. He goes looking for the triangle and then he rolls. So he goes looking for the triangle and then he rolls out of the way. But I think Jan's quite savvy to it. He's got the old can opener up behind Israel's neck. There's 2 minutes to go. With a closed guard like this, without feet on the hips, Israel can't get up. So he's got the guard closed. He's looking for the triangle escape that he does, and he does it very well. Now he's got the foot on the hips, but Jan's very smart. He gets back inside. Israel's got the closed guard. There's 1 minute and 38 seconds to go. Jan has now crawled his way up to half guard. And he's got this takedown. He's got nice shoulder pressure. He's landing some good ground and pound. Israel tries to escape. Jan's doing a great job now. He's got the correct, and he passed to the weak side again. No, he didn't. No, he did. He passed to the weak side. Yes, he did. Izzy's got a lockdown here, but this is not going to get Israel up onto his feet. And I don't know that he's done enough because I think that one of the rounds I would have given to Jan somewhere in there. I can't remember which one it was. I had Israel winning the other rounds quite clearly, but the last round I give to Jan, and this round I give to Jan. Israel turning on the cage. He's going to try and kick off the cage, but Jan's not going to let him. There's 42 seconds to go. And Jan has definitely won the fourth and the fifth. And I would say one of the other rounds. I had it as a draw going in. And this one being the decider. But I'm not judging the fight. He's definitely won this round, in my opinion. And Jan's landing some good shots there on Israel. He's not doing a lot to hurt him, but he's definitely landing shots and he's definitely doing damage. He's landing some good ground and pound now. He's got the full mount. He's landing some big shots on Israel. And that's the round he landed. He finished on the mount. Very, very interesting. I don't envy the judges. But fourth and fifth they were the most dominant rounds of the fight, in my opinion. They were the most dominant rounds of the fight. And they were definitely Jan's. First, second, and third, there were a couple in there that I believe Israel won. I think Israel definitely won the first. And he won at least one of the others. I don't know that he won all three rounds, though. You know what I mean? I don't know that he won all three rounds. And he was definitely, these two were the most dominant rounds. I don't know. I think it'll be hard to give that to Israel, in my opinion. They definitely won a triple champ, so they might. Israel fought really well. Don't get me wrong. He fought really, really, really well. I love the way he fought. It's a pleasure to watch him fight. The way he slides in and out and everything, but I don't think he beat Jan. I'd be very surprised if they give that fight to Israel because fourth and the fifth was definitely Jan. First, second, and third, one of those probably went to Jan. Yeah. Yeah, it depends even how you score it. Yeah, maybe someone in Rick James, you're right. Maybe someone could have given that a 10-8. But I don't think it was a 10-8, me personally. But Jan definitely won the last 2 rounds. He won it further away than any of the others. He won it by more than the others. I agree with you, Michael Wood. Probably the third round, how it scored will decide it, because I can't remember right now. I just watched it then, but I think Israel definitely won 2 of the first 3 rounds. So to me, it was a crazy exciting fight, to be honest with you. Let's see how they score it. Edge of your seat excitement. Yeah, so Jan retained his belt. Yeah, I don't see how you could have given that to Israel. Although, to be honest with you, I was fucking impressed by his performance. You know, that was one of his more impressive fights, to be honest with you, and it was a loss. So I'm really, really impressed by Israel, to be honest with you. Really, really impressed. But I thought Jan won that quite comfortably. Guys, we're going to do a fight review on Tuesday at 1 p.m. of this main event, and it was crazy, man. It was a crazy fight. So yeah, crazy night of fights. That was really, really good fight, guys. I just want to thank you all for coming here and for watching this fight with me and for just being part of this whole thing, man. I really, really, really appreciate it. I'm fucking flattered by having all you guys watching. It was an absolutely amazing fight. Let's do a fight review, a live fight review, Q&A, etc., on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Give you guys a chance to rewatch the fights, digest it, and then we're going to watch it and we're going to have a good time. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.